Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you for now. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to put a time limit on it. I want to limit myself. I don't want to overextend myself either. We'll see. We'll see. I hope everybody's doing good. Let's get right to it. Dina Johnson. First, right out the gate, good afternoon. Anthony Prosser. He thought he was first, but she got you, bro. She got you. What's up, Anthony? Erica Hummins in the house representing Reading. Good afternoon, Erica. Lewis Talbert in the house. Good afternoon, Lewis. And rounding out the top five, Carolyn Smith. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for checking out the show. David Herring, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Nick Brown out there in beautiful Blue Ash. Good afternoon to you as well. Pamela Kinney in the house representing North Avondale. Good afternoon, Pamela. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. Jacqueline Carter, our own Wonder Woman here, representing Evanston. Good afternoon. Lonzo Clark representing Hyde Park. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's see. Shirley Ellis Howe, good afternoon. Good afternoon. If you have any information on the funeral, if you could just make sure that I get it. I don't always get the information. So if you have any information, if you could make sure I get it, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Vincent Jones, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. David Herring, by the way, says he's representing Butler County. Let me see. And Dina, being classy and, of course, angelic, she says, good afternoon, Your Highness. And, to the rest of y'all. Guess you got to add that. It's okay. She's representing Walnut Hills. Sierra Brooks in the house. Says, what's up, everyone, except hater E-Man. Oh, she is a hater. This is what happens when you spend time in Paris. She's she's Blanche now. She's a Blanche. That's black and French. Black and French. So she's Blanche now. She can't control herself. Bragging and hating. Being Blanche, I guess, she turns you into a mean girl. She just become mean, just out of nowhere. But thank you for checking out the show anyway. She's representing Boston, by the way. Let's see. Samuel Campbell Jr. representing Bond Hill. Good afternoon. Candy D in the house representing Coleraine Township. Good afternoon. Bonita Gaines representing Roselawn. Good afternoon. Got Lamont Jones in the house representing Westwood. Good afternoon. Nathaniel Livingston Jr. in the house representing Toledo. Please tell Denise, I didn't get a chance to tell Denise hello today when I talked to you. So please tell Denise I said hello. Please. I had to come on because somebody requested, come on at 3:00. You be coming on too late and then I can't watch your show. So I had to come on, relatively close to 3. So I didn't really get a chance to hear Ron and Wyatt go at it. So I'll have to go back and listen to that later. Shahira in the house, representing Sycamore Township / Sharonville. Good afternoon. Jerica, good afternoon. I am here. Blanche sounds like a slur. Hey, I'm pretty sure that's the technical term for black people in France. You're not French. You're not black. You're Blanche. You're Blanche. Nothing wrong with that. Nat Turner representing Madville. Good afternoon, Nat Turner. Good afternoon. Got Daryl Carpenter in the house. He says, what up? What up? He's out there in Forest P, where the G's be. That is so stupid. It tickles me. Jerica says, hola to you too. Tria, classy as always, representing Avondale. Good afternoon, Tria. Brenda early in the house, representing Fairfield. Good afternoon, Brenda. Good afternoon. Big B. I shouldn't say big B. You might not be big. You might be little B. I don't know why I said that. I apologize. Drea, representing Sycamore Township. Good afternoon, Drea. Good afternoon. Reese Mooney in the house. Representing Springfield Township as well. Good afternoon, Reese Mooney. Good afternoon. Terry Coleman, representing E-Town. Good afternoon. We got Regina Denson Griffin in the house. Good afternoon, Regina. Mike Ballard Sr., representing Woodlawn. Good afternoon. Let's see. Big B is definitely a slur. I don't know. That's a slur, but I don't know. I apologized. Why y'all trying to attack me? I feel under attack. I feel under attack. Don't attack me. Then y'all make me be defensive. And then that changes the whole tone of the show. Don't put me on the defense. Mary Birch Lavender, representing White Oak in the house. Good afternoon. James Benter says Vancouver in the house. All right. Can't beat that. Good afternoon. Andrea Bustle. I'm laughing at Anthony Prosser's response to not being first. Andrea Bustle, good afternoon. She's representing downtown. Good afternoon to you. Appreciate you being here. Miss Pittsburgh in the house, representing Pennsylvania. All right. Well, thank you for checking us out. Walter Bradley, representing Jacksonville, Florida. All right. Thank you for checking us out. Edsel, representing Gross, Beezy, and Beavis. Good afternoon, Edsel. Oh. All right. Daryl says, did you skip me? No, I didn't skip you. You can't walk away and then come back talk about I skipped you. That's not how it works. Well, you got to go back and watch the replay just to see me say hello to you. I hope everybody's doing good. Of course, y'all know we got to talk about the verdict. We got to talk about it. I want to know you guys' opinion. I wasn't in the courtroom, of course. I didn't hear all of the evidence. But I would say, based on just what I heard, it sure sounded to me like they proved their case against him. Sounds like they proved their case. But I think what you run up against is... Let me move closer. I think what you run up against is, number one, expecting lay people to, and I'm a lay person as well, expecting lay people to be able to understand and accurately interpret the law. Now, y'all know, again, sometimes it depends on, hold on. Why is it that we can rewind Lincoln's show while he's live, but can't rewind you or Wyatt? It's weird. I don't know. I think there's a box that you have to check that maybe I haven't checked. Man, I'll go back and look. But I think what happens, y'all heard me try to explain like simple laws that for whatever reason I seem to understand. I don't understand all the complex stuff. It's got to be explained to me. But simple laws that I kind of seem to understand. Tell her my name ain't no damn Caleb. Tell her to stop calling me damn Caleb. That is not my name. Uncle Caleb, that's hilarious to me. But yeah, y'all have heard me try to explain simple laws that I understand to some people. And some people just can't get it. They just can't get it. They have in their minds the way the law works. And no matter how you explain it to them, how many times you explain it to them, how many examples you use to explain it to them, they don't understand. Like, I'm shocked that they got him for transporting prostitutes or whatever they got him for. I am super shocked because I think y'all have heard on this show me trying to explain that to people, and then people like, wait, you telling me that I can't bring a hoe from Chicago to Cincinnati, and I can't pay a hoe to come and give me some monkey from Chicago to Cincinnati, and that's illegal? That ain't illegal. That people do that every day. Ain't no way that that's illegal. Like, that's not the way the law works. Because people do it every day doesn't make it not illegal. You can't pay a hoe to come from Chicago to Cincinnati to give you no monkey. That's not legal. Oh, I've been paying hoes to come. They're like, wait a minute. First, stop admitting the crimes. And second, just because you've been doing it, don't make it legal. Well, I found him not guilty on that. And I believe when you assemble a jury of people, a group of regular lay people, they come with whatever preconceived notions they have in their head. And sure, they say, I'll pay attention to the evidence presented and the law and the jury instructions, and I'll do my duty. I want to say this the right way, because y'all know me. I don't like to be offensive. I do not like to be offensive. But sometimes you just have to say what you say. And, that's not the right word to use. A lot of people, they're not that bright. They're not that bright. They're not that bright. And trying to get people to put aside their experiences and grasp a new understanding of a thing is difficult. And then once you put them in a position to, interpret the law, like for real, we are really asking. And again, we talked about this yesterday. Or maybe it wasn't yesterday. Maybe it was the day before. I think it was yesterday. They don't want the smartest people on juries. They specifically, at least in my opinion, they specifically don't want the smartest people on juries. They want people who they can manipulate. So then you get those people in there and you're expecting them to, on their own, given a set of jury instructions, listen to those jury instructions, read them, pay attention to the law, and apply that as they deliberate unsupervised. Like sometimes, I can tell you, doing this show, having, been in talk radio for almost 25 years. Sometimes to have a half-decent conversation that people can follow takes a lot of work. Okay? Sometimes it takes a lot of work. And then just take 12 people and tell them, Hey, look, y'all, this is the law. Here's the facts. Here's how I want you to interpret the law. Now go back there and make a decision and just leave them to their own devices. And I could imagine, like, y'all, I know we all seen the Dave Chappelle skit. And, where, he's talking about, somehow he brings up Biggie and Tupac when talking about whether or not R. Kelly peed on them girls. I can imagine some of that stuff happening in the deliberations room, in the room where they deliberate, and there's nobody there to say, wait, what does that have to do with anything? Wait, so you telling me that you think P. Diddy came in there and he had drugs and Cassie didn't want it because she a freak and she look good and the good-looking bitches get to do whatever they want to do, so Cassie get to just be a good-looking bitch and do whatever she want to do, and okay, so Diddy has some drugs, but who don't have drugs? Molly ain't nothing. I know a bitch named Molly and she ain't nothing, so Diddy ain't guilty. And you like, what? What you know a bitch named Molly got to do with anything? Every Molly I know is cool. See? But y'all, no, because he had Molly, and yo like Cassie, but the bitches I know named Molly, they cool, and ain't nothing wrong with Molly. Every Molly I know is fine, and she cool, so Diddy didn't do nothing wrong. What? And there's nobody, no referee, no judge, no legal, nothing there to say, wait, who the fuck is Molly? You know what I'm saying? What does that have to do with anything? So I could imagine it's somebody in there, just their brains, everybody's brain don't work the same. Like, what are you, come on, we've all experienced that. What are you talking about? But you can't convince the people who's saying it that just because you know some chicks named Molly who cool don't mean it's okay to give Molly to distribute Molly. And when they say it, they serious than a mug. And those of us who are normal are like, what are you talking about? Now imagine being in the jury room and somebody is saying crazy stuff like that. You know what I'm going to do if I'm the foreman? I'm going to be like, okay, hold on. Let me send a note to the judge. Your Honor. Your Honor. Excuse my language. This nigga crazy. He talking about some bitch he know named Molly and how he can't come to a decision because the bitches he know named Molly is cool. What we supposed to do with this? And then you send that back to the judge, and then the judge sends you a note back like, y'all better come to a conclusion. You're like, oh my goodness. Your Honor, can we kick this nigga off the jury and get somebody else? We got like 12 alternates. Can we have one of them? Send that to the judge, and the judge is like, y'all better come to a conclusion. Like, damn. Okay. And now you're looking at this nigga like, all right, let's forget about the Molly, all right? Let's talk about the fact that, can we all agree that Diddy was, distributing drugs? Like he had people bound, and then he brought them in, and then he gave them to the Punisher so that the Punisher could adequately pee in Cassie's mouth. Can we agree that he's a distributor? Distributor? What you mean distributor? He's a distributor. He had somebody buy the drugs he distributes. What exactly is distribution? All right, so I don't see nothing wrong with distribution. I had a record label once, and I was looking for a distributor. I was distributing wrong. We're talking about drugs. Diddy wasn't sending drugs when I had a distributor for my record label. We was going all over the country. We was about to blow up. But it didn't work out that way because, you know what I'm saying, they talked about my rap wasn't all that good, but them niggas don't know what they talking about. You know what I mean? And you like, whoa, wait, what are we talking about? So now I got to send a note to the judge, Your Honor. This nigga need to know the definition of distribution. Can you help us out? All caps, please, exclamation points. And the judge like, just come to a conclusion. I'm like, oh my God, now I gotta work with this nigga. He arguing about, and we not talking about no record label distribution. How do he not know? This is your regular run-of-the-mill people that you probably don't end up with on a jury. They don't understand stuff. I believe I wasn't there. I didn't hear everything, which actually makes it worse in my opinion. I wasn't there. I didn't hear everything, but just based on the stuff that was reported, that was testified to, Diddy was guilty. Diddy was guilty. He had people doing illegal stuff because he told them to. Because he told them to. Go buy some drugs. Bring it to the freak off. Y'all gon' F for 4 straight days. No sleep. No nothing. When you get tired, we gonna give you some Molly. No, this ain't the bitch you know. We gonna give you some Molly. When you start running low on fluids, we gonna put an IV in you. We gonna do whatever we flying you in from Miami here, and we paying you money to have sex with somebody. He did all of that stuff. But you can't trust juries. You can't trust juries. You just can't do it. So, okay, he's found not guilty. Only guilty on, those 2 charges. Only guilty on those 2 charges. Okay. I'm not sure what he'll get. But y'all know people be celebrating nonsense. And this is what I be talking about when I keep telling y'all, as a society and as a culture, things ain't gonna get better until we change our minds about what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. We gonna have to change our minds as a culture. There's people celebrating because Diddy was found not guilty. And they choose the strangest ways to celebrate. My brother told me today that somebody was outside the courthouse. They was dousing themselves with baby oil. That's how they celebrate. They out the courthouse dousing themselves with baby oil. And somebody pouring baby oil on them. What in the world? It's Frico, not Rico. How are we celebrating this stuff? He did tell me that. I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. I did not believe him until
told y'all this
Yeah. But them some of the same people probably was on the jury. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were probably some of the same people that was on the jury. And so, you remember, it was, I think, yesterday, and I was having the conversation about, there was somebody who was saying they would still take a picture with Diddy if they saw him out because, they celebrate what he did. Like, this is or his music prowess, if I can say it, and his business prowess and all of that kind of stuff. These are people walking around in our society. They're not really hurting nobody for the most part. They just ignorant as F. But they go to work, you know what I'm saying? You encounter them, through your day-to-day life. Now, I believe, they might give him time served. They might give him time served. They may, give him, another couple years, something like that. But then he gets out, and he is still a hero to people. Here's the conclusion that I've come to. No, twin, I won't show the video again. Maybe later. You just want to see that girl titty almost pop out. I know you. You just want to see that girl titty almost pop out. I'm not showing that video again so you can, rub one out real quick. I'm not doubting your ability to, that video was, about a minute? You could probably rub one out in a minute, you know. So I'm not doubting your ability, but I don't want to aid in that. I don't want to facilitate that. But we have to decide, as a society, what's acceptable, what's celebratable. What's acceptable and what's celebratable. And we can't be like, oh, our society is going down. Our society is going down. I don't know why. Why is our society this bad? Because look at what we're celebrating. We being some members of the society. If you watched Diddy, and this is just the one we saw, if you watch Diddy grab a woman, throw her down by the hair, kick her, stomp on her, drag her, all of that kind of stuff, and you still look at that dude as a hero, you don't like women. You don't. You don't like women. If you making excuses for why he got charged after you watched him beat the dog crap out of a woman and drag her down a hallway, you don't like women. And I'm convinced that there's a lot of men out here that don't like women. And those are the same dudes that will always celebrate bad behavior. They'll always celebrate bad behavior. They'll always be cool with it. There'll always be an excuse. Why? There'll always be an excuse why. What was Diddy about to buy NBC too? That's why they got him. Oh no, because the alcohol thing, right? Because he just was making too much money. That's why they did it. And all of these women testifying, and all of these people testifying that they saw it. That this is who he is. This is what he does. All these people testifying that. And he's still your hero. Daryl says, I get it, but the trial wasn't about Diddy beating Cassie. It kind of was. And that Daryl, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, it kind of was. It was about him trafficking her. And one of the things that he used to control her was sheer brute force. If she's testifying that she was trying to leave because she didn't want to continue a freak off, and he found out she was trying to leave, ran and caught her at the elevator, threw her down, beat her, kicked her, dragged her back, and forced her to continue a freak off that she didn't want to continue, that's one of the charges. So it was about that beating. In the context of what the charge was, trafficking her against her will. Well, but she wanted it. She liked it. Maybe she did at some point, but you can still say no. Twin going once.
What's up, E, man?
Oh, what's up, Twin?
Was your brother hang up on me?
Absolutely.
For what, man? I just had to get myself together.
Mama, don't call till you got yourself together. When the host pick up the phone and say, Twin, you should be ready to talk. It shouldn't take you 20 seconds to get yourself together to talk. And what do you have to do to get yourself together to talk? What does that even mean?
I had my earpiece in and I was taking it out.
But you knew you was calling when you called. You should already had it out.
Well, why you gotta raise your voice? And man, what I do to you, man? You done crashed out on me early, try to, diss me on the low and everything.
How? What did I say about you?
Well, I take you in Chicago and I bring them back and stuff. That's what I said, sir.
Bro, you are
I know
not
you
Chicago.
Trying to make a sense.
Just because I say something about Chicago don't mean I'm talking about you.
Yeah. Just like you don't say nothing about the radio host.
Just because I say something about a radio host don't mean that I'm talking about a specific one. If I'm talking about a specific one, I say their name.
Yeah, all right. Tell it to somebody else. Man, dang on well, man, this was one about no damn Cassidy, man. This is about the shit. We go make a believer out of your little ass. You think you bigger than us? You remember his rap verse? I'm richer than them white folks.
No, I don't remember
how
that.
we do it.
No, I don't remember that.
If you listen to them lyrics, you'll know.
I'm not even familiar with that song. But let's address the idea that this was not about Cassie.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I mean, you said, no, it wasn't about her.
Hold on, stop. You're not even listening.
My bad.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
But we don't have to keep having my bads. You are not even listening. You are ready to respond and disagree with anything.
And you're not about to do no Mr. Correctional Officer today, man. This Emanuel's podcast, and I'm a listen. Man, go ahead now.
You are ready to disagree with me without even hearing what I've said. How does one have a constructive conversation with somebody who, when I say what you say, you disagree with it because you didn't listen. You just wanted to disagree with me. So
here's self-destruction.
Here's all I want you to do. Here's all I want you to do. And
I'm a listener, man. What happened?
Here's all I want you to do, and we can have a conversation. I just want you to come into the conversation with an open mind, and you'll listen to what I say and then respond based on the merits of what I say.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Now, if there is a woman who has agreed to have sex with you, okay? She said yes. You know what I'm saying? You did whatever it is that you do to get women. I don't know, you walked up to her, you whipped it out, and you said, look at this. And she said, okay, I want it. And then y'all end up in a hotel room, right? And you smashing, right? 10 seconds in, you about to erupt. But she like, hold on, I changed my mind. She get up to leave. You go, you grab her by the hair, you slam her to the ground, you kick her, you stomp her, you beat her, and then you drag her back to the room and you make her keep having sex with you. Did you do something wrong?
That's right.
Okay. Now, in this context, according to my understanding of the testimony, that video that we saw at the hotel, there was a freak off going on. And Cassie did not that day, at that moment, want to participate anymore.
What freak off is going on? That's sex. You engaging in sexual activity. There ain't no damn freak off. That's sexual activity you engage in.
Wait, what is your understanding of what a freak off is as they're explaining it with
freak with the baby oil and all that?
No, just tell me, what is your understanding of what a freak off is?
Freak off, you doing all time. You got the whipped cream. You about to do the whole nine. That's a freak off.
Well, yeah, that's not.
Even you can have a damn threesome or something like that.
Yeah,
that's a freak off.
Look, in the context of this case, a freak off was one of those marathon sex sessions that may have included, multiple people, him watching her have sex with other people and doing all kind of nasty stuff that could go on for up to 4 straight days. All right.
But you stay at the hotel, right?
Yeah, they did.
That was 101.
No. They did them at the. See, some of this is you
said from the video, right?
Right.
That's what you just said.
Right.
So it was 101 that day in that room.
No.
Him and her.
No. As I understand the testimony, that was during one of these freak-offs where there were other people there. They did these freak-offs at hotels. These didn't happen always at Diddy's house. They rented hotels to do these things.
I didn't know that. I thought most of it was from the evidence of the baby oil and the raids and all that. Seemed like it came from the crib.
No.
Not no damn hotel.
No, everybody, I believe, testified during this trial. Again, my understanding of the testimony is that everybody testified that these things happened at hotels many times at hotels. So much so that he had a specific person whose job it was to come in and basically restore the hotel after the freak off because it got so nasty and all of that kind of stuff.
Well, I didn't hear that. The only part I heard, he was at the crib and all that, and somebody nailing her while he in the back of the room looking through the glass window. That's the only sexual freak off. All right, I ain't hear about nobody at the. I really didn't. I guess I missed that part, but
yeah.
I really didn't, hear that. I don't think I heard them taking baby oils and guns and drugs from the 3 houses he had.
Yeah,
Other than that, I didn't.
Yeah, you
I didn't hear no freak off. I didn't hear that part, man. Excuse me.
No, it's all right. You definitely missed that part. But
yeah.
I think almost everybody agrees these things happened many times at hotels, and I'm fairly certain it was testified to that video that we saw was at a hotel while one of these freak-offs was happening. And
so what other people was there then?
In the room.
It seemed like it was.
They was in the room, freaking off.
I ain't got it, man. If I'm having to jump off or whatever section like that, and we in a hotel, man, don't do that, man. You crazy? Bring your stupid ass in here. A real nigga be like, man, come on, man. Don't do it. You gonna kick us out or something like that. Real nigga address that situation, man. Real talk. But him being D, hey, you want your job? Shut the hell up.
What?
This my girl. I'm just saying.
I'm so confused.
A real nigga, I'm saying if me and you, we about to go pound town on somebody or whatever, and, we just smoking or something like that, drinking, and you out there on drunk stuff wanting to hit the fire alarm or nigga knock on doors and all that, and, man, get your dumb ass in here. What you on, man?
No.
Get in here, man.
Twin. Understand this.
What?
That man was, I believe, technically a billionaire, right? So he can rent out the whole floor if he want to and do whatever he want to do and tear up the room and then have people come in and restore the room or pay the hotel. How much did I cause in damages? I caused $100,000 in damages to that room. Here's $100,000. Fix it up and keep it quiet.
Well, in that case, he evidently ain't keep quiet. But the butler got the video and gave it to TMZ or whoever. Got his money.
Right. But now let's get back to the point that I was trying to make to you. If this is a freak off happening and she's deciding that she wants to leave, I don't care if she the one who called all the prostitutes, if she the one who set everything up for Diddy, if she the one who requested pee on me, whatever. When she decides, I'm done, I'm out of here, gets up, gets dressed, goes to that elevator, and he comes and grabs her, throws her down, stomps her, kicks her, beats her, pour water out of a vase on her, humiliates her, and drags her back to the room to force her to continue to participate in this freak off. Wouldn't you agree that he's wrong?
Nope. Because she engaged with it. Man, she was liking that stuff, man. She went even backdoored him and went to go participate on her own with that. So she was loving that. She was loving that. While he all up in Paris or whatever, you had a chance to run. So you engaged it too. So you like it, that freaky stuff. So go on. No, man, I don't have no sympathy for people like that, man. I really don't.
I believe
it. If you engage in that, and I ain't tell you, even though I was hustling, you ain't got to buy my dope. But you choose to smoke or snort it. That's your prerogative. Hey, I'm going to get my money, though. Hey, this money train got to keep flowing. I ain't put that crack pipe to you or let you bang up your nose or whatever the case may be. You chose to buy my product. You can say, hell no, I'm going down the street. But no, you say, twin, give me that. I got you. You can say no. Yes or no. Okay. Or sometimes I ain't got to serve you. I can say, no, ain't nothing happening today. Mm-hmm. Move around. So it's choices, man, you make in life.
You're right. There is choices. Okay, so enough of that. What about distribution? Do you believe that distribution happens, drug distribution? Do you believe it happens?
Yeah, it happens. Hell yeah.
All right, so if he instructs someone to go out and buy drugs, and then he gives it to people during these freak-offs, ain't that distribution of drugs?
Yeah, that's distro, yeah.
Right.
Of course.
He was found not guilty of that, but clearly he did it. Everybody testified that he did that. So he should have been found guilty on that, right?
Yeah, distribution of drugs, yeah. That's the case.
He was found not guilty of it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the case. That's in law. That's law, man. That's law. Yeah.
So I'm just saying... You know, for y'all, and I'm not saying that you're celebrating him, even though I think you probably would.
No, I ain't celebrating. I'll just say, to me, I don't have no sympathy for what he did or nothing like that. I'm glad he off though, because this one nothing never about cats. It's about nigga. We go make an example out of you. That's what basically it is. You ain't above us. We run this show over here. You niggas just puppets. Dance. Come on, man.
Okay.
See who go get the cheesecake now. Come on.
Okay.
That's how they look at them white folks, man. You not rich. Look at Epstein. Look what happened. He wasn't there. Come on, man. He wasn't there murder. He didn't kill himself. They killed that man.
Probably
he
Trump.
Knew too much. He was powerful, man.
Probably Trump killed him. Probably Trump killed hhim.
Oh, he probably did send a hitman at him. He knew too much on that on them about them tapes. Trump pump fake. Hey, we got cases, or we gonna send that tape. We gonna show this. They never showed it because Elon even knew about it.
Because Trump was on the tapes.
Yeah, why you think he shut it down?
Right.
They went through that tape and said like, oh no, we can't do that. There's so many people on that tape, man. Everybody should have been locked up.
Okay.
But no, he killed himself. No, he did. Y'all put some in his food.
Okay.
Because if you on the suicide watch, Emanuel, it's a 24-hour watch, man. They watching you, man. Either got a camera zoomed in on you or something, and you on suicide watch or whatever. I don't know if he was or not, but you got a straight jacket.
All right.
And you're holding a damn phone cup to eat.
Okay.
none that go harm you. Man, they killed that man. And what was that lady? His rappy, that Giselle, whatever her name. She couldn't even make no phone calls to her people. And they hurry up and rushed her out of the Fed.
One
and
last
sent her
question
home.
for you. One last question for you. If you saw Diddy at the airport, would you shake his hand?
I seen Diddy back in '98.
Well, that's
He
not
was
what
him
I'm
and
not talking
Jennifer
about. Then I'm
Lopez.
clearly talking about now. If you saw Diddy at the airport, would you shake his hand, take a picture with him?
No, I ain't take a picture back in '98 when I seen with him and Jennifer Lopez out west. I ain't take a picture with them. I was just there for the concert. He was doing a little release album at George Music Room out west in Chicago. I saw them too, and I ain't look at it like that.
All right.
Look at them like that. I kept it moving.
Okay, I was just checking. Just checking.
No, I was. I was just giving the nod and everything. What's up? And keep it moving.
You would just show him respect.
I mean, I give him the nod, say what's up and everything, but I wouldn't, hey, what up, Diddy, and all that. No, I wouldn't do it.
You would just show him regular respect.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it, man.
All right.
If I see you, I respect you.
Okay.
And everything, I wouldn't, be disrespectful. I'm not that type of person, but I'll say what's up too.
All right.
Yeah, I don't hold no grudges or nothing like that, man.
All right. You got anything else?
No, man, I had to come on, saw you, and I had to zoom in a little bit because your shirt was blinding me a little bit.
Really?
Man.
Is this the blue shirt?
I'm sitting outside, I'm looking at the sky, looking at my phone, looking at the sky. Damn, you blinding me. The shirt.
All right.
No, just play.
Hey,
that's all I think I got to say, I think. Ain't
right.
nothing else. What else on the menu, man?
Well, that's it for now. I think you've said plenty.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about the case, man. Them people shut you down and stuff. They made an example. I know that. I know you gonna be quiet as a church mouth.
Now,
and I think he probably wind up doing.
I do want you to know that I think that what you said is pure nonsense, and I'm gonna.
You say what?
Yeah, what you said is pure nonsense. I
agree with your opinion.
Okay,
I ain't gonna argue that.
It's sad. It makes me sad that as a grown man you feel that way, but you have a right to feel how you feel.
Well, feel what way? About her?
No, about you. You don't have a problem with what Diddy did to her in that hotel room. You said you have no problem with it.
No, because she engaged with it. Why would I have a problem with it? You engage with that. It's like I got
I'm not asking you to defend it. You already said it. You don't see a problem with men beating women.
But it's like you have a sister or something like that. She keep on getting her head bust. What you gonna do? Keep going over there beating dude up? No, you like that.
No, we not talking about going nowhere.
No, it's the same damn situation.
No, it's not. It's not
the
same
same
situation, and I'm not asking you to defend yourself.
You put in this situation, man. No, man, just take your Air Force One and walk it out, man.
You're right. If a woman is trying to get out of a situation and a man don't want her to get out, then according to you, it's good that he grabs her, snatch her, throw her down, kick her,
going over there,
and beat the F out of her. And in your mind, there's nothing wrong with a man beating the F out of a woman.
No, if I keep on trying to help you, you say, Twin, come over there, and you keep beating your head about 3 or 4 times. No, and then you go back to him.
We understand how you feel. I'm not trying to change your mind. I acknowledge that that's how you feel. You comfortable with men beating the F out of women.
This ain't got nothing. No, it's not. No, I don't.
I don't. You clearly do. You said it, and I'm not trying to get you to change your mind.
When I was a little, I seen my daddy did my mama like that. My mama had to wear fucking Stevie Wonder, so I don't fucking agree with that, and don't fucking put that in my motherfucking mouth like that.
You put it in your mouth. I didn't put it in your mouth.
I don't agree with those shit like that.
No, I asked you as clearly as one human can ask another human.
No, motherfucker, you can't get me like that.
With that.
That's bullshit.
And your response
That's
was,
fucking bullshit.
You didn't
don't put words in my mouth.
Anything wrong with that? You put the words in
me
your
off.
mouth.
No, the fuck I
didn't
did.
put the words in your mouth. You did.
See how the fuck you do to hype this crowd up? You full of shit.
Now you gonna get mad at me because you said what you said. So now you mad at me because you said what you said. I keep telling y'all, this stuff is wild. It's wild. Twin is mad at me because he said what he said. And I allowed him to say it. And then I repeated what he said. And now it's my fault that he said it, that I heard it, that y'all heard it, and that I repeated it. It's my fault. It's wild. He hung up. I didn't hang up on him. It's wild. We all heard what he said. I asked the question. I feel like I asked it 10 times. And he said as clear as he could possibly, as plain as day, whatever, that he was all right with it. And then when I say, I'm not trying to change your mind. You got a right to feel how you feel. Don't put them MF words in my MF mouth. I keep telling y'all, people hate it when you say, or me, people hate it when I say what they said. Because coming out, I don't, for whatever reason, when they say it, it don't sound as bad as when they hear it back. Brian says he was talking about that situation. Right. And what was that situation? A man grabbing a woman by the hair, throwing her down, kicking her, stomping her, beating her, and dragging her back to the room. I specifically asked him that. Do you have a problem with that? Is he wrong? And he said, no. I don't have a problem with that. He ain't wrong. And y'all remember, see, Twin, you can't come in here and say, well, I was talking about this and I wasn't talking about that. I have a problem with this and I have a problem with that. I asked you at the beginning of the conversation, don't disagree. Please listen to what I'm saying. And don't disagree with me just for the sake of disagreeing with me. Hear me, understand what I'm saying. And if you disagree, don't just disagree with me without hearing what I have to say. Can we approach this conversation with an open mind? And he said, yes. And now I'm all kind of MFs and all that kind of stuff. Oh my God. James says, no, he said that was rape. You wasn't listening close enough either, James. No, he didn't. He said he didn't have any problem with it. When I put him in the situation, he said that would be rape. When I asked him specifically about what we saw on that video, he clearly said he didn't have a problem with it. And this becomes the problem. And y'all see the people making excuses for not having a problem with this man beating this woman this time. Look, if you don't have a problem with a man beating a woman that time, then you really don't have a problem with a man beating a woman. Caller?
I want to apologize, man, for going off on you and letting you raise my blood pressure up. Now, I probably have to go to work with a sad vengeance today for you messing up my whole day. I just want you to know that, man.
I messed up your day?
Yes, you did. You raised my blood pressure. I was in a good mood. You made me fall out my baby chair, sitting outside drinking on some lemonade and everything. And you fucked me up today, man. I just want you to know that, real talk.
I get the blame for that?
Yes, you get to know you're the last person now I talk to.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, I know. I'm really in my feces, man, right now, sitting outside.
Well, hold on. Well, let me
I don't know,
apologize
should
to
I
you.
take it out on my baby or whoever?
Yeah, don't take it out on nobody. Let me apologize to you.
No, no, no. Real talk. No, let me tell you this. I just put it in the chat. Stevie Wonder and stuff. You know, Stevie Wonder with glasses and all that. No, my people, my daddy was abusive to my mom. And when I was saying it, she had on glasses. When I'm like, Mom, it's kind of clear outside. I mean, kind of dark outside. Why you got on glasses? And she said, no, boy, it's not. Then my sister told me what happened. And I said, what? And then I was little. I said, I ought to get that gun and shoot him. And, that was through my head and all that. And I've been through that. So, no, I don't agree with, no, I would never do that. Man, I touched a woman one time and I never looked back and stuff. As me putting my hand, I'm not hell no. That's I want to go take the route of my daddy with that situation. No, I would never do that. Hit a woman argue with me now, and I'll walk away in a minute. You won.
So then,
I
wait a
wouldn't
minute.
do that, swear to God.
Okay,
I don't agree with him choking and all that, but the freakouts and all that, you engage into that. Like I said, I didn't tell you about these drugs. That's up to you, the choice you made to do it.
Twin.
Go ahead, Emanuel. Go ahead, Emanuel.
He did beat her.
I understand that, man. I know I don't agree. I say I don't agree with it. Me, just seeing me as a little child, as a little young boy and stuff, seeing what happened when I see my daddy do it. I don't agree with this. Oh, it's cool to knock this bitch out. No, man. I don't agree with that. I ain't got a gun pulled on me by women, ran through. No, I don't agree with that shit. Did I do something? No. I got out the situation. Shit, I don't agree with that. I could have got down on him, but no. No, I don't do that.
No,
I don't agree with the abuse.
I
man.
understand that you don't
do
do
that
it.
The one time to a woman, man.
But you
Put my
don't.
hands after that,
Then why are you riding so hard for Diddy? You say you don't like it. You don't agree with it. I don't respect a man who does it. Why are you riding so hard for Diddy when to everybody, I believe, who testified about his behavior testified that this is one of the things that he does on a regular basis? So how can you still have respect for him?
I have respect for everybody. As long as you respect me, I respect you. It's about respect. That's how you got to grow yourself. Can't be disrespectful out here. Got to show respect to earn it.
No, you don't.
Come on, man.
You don't have to show respect to people who don't deserve respect.
Hey, certain people don't. You're right. Certain people don't deserve respect. But I wouldn't just come out and, man, F you, Diddy. I don't care. You did that.
You don't have to say any of that. You could just not acknowledge him.
It's called mind your business.
Right. You could
That's
just not acknowledge him. Like
I'm
if you
a man
saw
my
him,
business.
Right.
I speak to him regardless if he come in front of my face. What's up? Regardless of your sex life, whatever, that's you. You accountable to ask God for your forgiveness.
But you could just not. Whatever. You're still showing respect to him. Why?
I don't care, man. In your case, I don't like you, but I'm gonna respect you as a man. All right, what's up, man?
But that's just it. I don't respect him as a man because he beats women.
You said that. I didn't say that. Once again, you putting words in my mouth.
His attorney said it.
I didn't say that, Emanuel. I said I respect him as a man.
But that's what I'm saying. Why? Why? Why do you respect him as a man? He beats
I just respect him
women.
Emanuel, regardless of anything, I just respect you as a man. Okay, it's about respect. Now, you can be disrespect, too. If you get out your body with me, but while you're in my presence and stuff, you're a man, I got to respect you. I just can't come, hey, man, I don't like them shoes you got on. Nigga, what? That's disrespect.
Not liking somebody's shoes and not respecting them for that is totally different than we watched a man beat a woman.
Because you're being disrespectful when you want to be on the soft end.
Twin, we watched a man beat a woman.
Was you there?
I didn't have to be there. I saw it. We saw the video.
Were you there when my daddy hit my mama?
We're not talking about your daddy and your mama. Okay. We saw the video of Diddy beating Cassie.
So he beat the woman. So he beat the woman. So you don't have respect for him.
Right.
On that part of the freak off part. Which part?
I'm not even sure that I understand the question that you're asking. I clearly
What
said what I
part you
said.
what? So you don't have no respect for him. So you don't have no respect for him because he beat her right there, right? The
Right.
video that you saw.
Right.
What about the freak offs? You still don't have no respect for him?
I don't care about the freak offs. I don't respect
That's
that
what I
man because
just
he beat
said.
women.
Yeah,
No,
so why you
that's
can't agree
not what
with
you
me?
just said. You know what?
That's what I just
All right.
said. Man.
I really
I said the
believe that
same
you
thing.
believe that that's what you said, but that's not what you said.
I said I don't respect the fact that he hit her.
No,
That
I
dog
said
don't
I don't
condone.
respect him because he beats women. You're saying I still respect him as a man, even though I know he beats women.
I don't know the man person.
You ain't. Okay.
I mean, I don't know
You're
that.
right.
I don't know that man. It
You're
probably
right.
be an AI video or something. Who knows?
Probably what?
I wasn't there.
You said that's AI. Okay.
AI video.
All right.
Who knows?
All
I
right.
don't know.
All right. Hey, I appreciate the apology. I apologize for saying what you
Oh, now
said.
you don't. All right, but man, it's been. I'm not. I mean, it is what it is.
All right.
Life goes on.
All right. Well, I
I mean, people
appreciate your
got a
call.
second chance. I bet you do. Bye.
All right. And that's what I'm saying. This stuff is not that hard. This stuff is not that hard. I'm for real. And we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to see any change until we draw some hard. It's like when I was talking about in my household, it was just certain things that we knew was unacceptable. And if you did it, there were going to be some consequences. Just period. Just period. It wasn't you did this, but you did that good, so it's all right that you stole because you got an A. Like, no, there was no, you stole. There's punishment for that. And I think, especially you talking about, I respect him as a man. There are certain things in my little 5'5" opinion. There are certain things that you do as a man that makes me not respect you as a man. And beating women should be one of those things. So, I'm a freak. Okay, you're a freak. I don't care about that. I'm a freak and I beat women. Whoa. I no longer respect you as a man. You beat women. And if all the men looked at all of their friends and said, that's unacceptable. Period. It's unacceptable. Well, I mean, bro, I know you beat your wife, but I still respect you as a man. What is that? What is that? So then what could he do for you to not respect him as a man? If beating his wife ain't enough for you to not respect him as a man, what is? Are men who have beaten women redeemable, like Chris Brown? I don't know Chris Brown. Here's what I'll say, and this is just my opinion. If you beat a woman, I don't respect you. Now, I understand that, people make terrible decisions in the heat of whatever, bad decisions are made and all of that kind of stuff. Do you feel bad about it? Do you acknowledge that what you did was wrong? Is it a behavior that a habitual behavior? Was it a one-time thing? You flew off and you're like, you were, what's the word, contrite, and you maybe went and got some counseling or something like that. paid your debt to society if you were like found guilty of domestic violence or something like that. You changed your behavior, changed your ways, and there's like real change and growth. Sure. But I'm not going to see you beat women, hear that you beat women, and be like, I still respect you as a man. What does it mean to respect somebody as a man? I don't know, man. But until we make up our minds as a society, as a culture, that certain stuff is just unacceptable, we gonna keep dealing with it. Because you're gonna have people celebrating, pouring baby oil on people outside the courthouse, and you're gonna have people saying, I don't have a problem with that. I don't understand. I don't understand. But okay, so now, it is what it is. He'll get sentenced at some point. Maybe he'll get time served. Maybe he'll get a little bit more time. Whatever the case is. And the sad part is everybody keep talking about, oh, he's going to have to work to get himself back into society. No, he's not. As we just heard, there's still people who are going to show him the utmost respect. As we saw with the people with the baby oil and all that stuff, there's still people who are going to celebrate him. He has some side eyes, but I mean, he's wealthy enough to move in a way that he can surround himself with people who ain't gonna side eye. And he'll probably go right back to doing what he was doing all along. And you're gonna have people making excuses for him. Why it's okay. It is what it is, I guess. Sad. It really does sadden me. Because I think, how are we ever going to change? How are we ever going to change? Oh. Lord Jesus, give me strength. CK.
Hey, excellent show, Livingston. I like your show today.
All right. What's on your mind?
Hey, I listened to you after I got off yesterday, and you made such an overwhelming case when you was talking about pictures with celebrities. You actually made me feel bad for taking pictures with celebrities. One picture in particular. Did you hear me?
I did.
When you said that, I thought like, yeah, why do I want to take a picture with them? They should want to take a picture with. When you said that, that was the dagger in the heart. That put a real mirror up against to the faces of people that like taking pictures with celebrities, right? Like, I'm trying to take a picture with somebody that don't even care about, when you said the LL Cool J story. Remember that?
I remember that. But hold on, let me be clear though. My goal was not to shame anybody for taking pictures with celebrities. You take pictures with whoever you want to take pictures of. I was just asking what people get out of it. Don't feel ashamed for liking to take pictures with celebrities. I just wanted to know why. That's it.
I actually took the picture down with me and Ray J after hearing your platform yesterday.
Okay. Just for the record, I didn't ask you to take your Ray J picture now.
No, I mean, but you hit a special, you know how they say you hit a nerve?
Yeah.
You really hit a nerve, like, ooh. Like some people make you do stuff that you really don't want to do. You know what I mean? And maybe society made me want to take pictures with celebrities for, for to feel like I fit in. Is it that fit in part?
I'm not sure. Is that why you take them? Because it makes you feel like you fit in?
Yeah, it tells like you really somebody, like you important or something. But I was listening and I was following you. How do you feel about him being convicted on these charges, P. Diddy?
I think he should have been convicted on more. I think that, it seems that they proved that he did more. But, he was convicted for what he was convicted of. And we'll see what happens from here. I don't.
Very serious charges.
Say that again.
Those are very serious charges that he got convicted of. Very serious.
I don't know how serious they are. And
20 years is serious.
No, not necessarily. In legal terms, in my, non-legal opinion, there's no minimum sentence. So the judge could sentence him to probation. The judge could say, time served. The judge could sentence him to, 1 day if he wanted to. There's no minimum sentence. And anytime there's no minimum sentence for something, I don't think the law looks at it as something that's that serious.
Now, how do you feel? Okay, Judge Mathis, I looked at an interview with him, and he said that he predicted this, but he said on the sentencing, the judge will overcompensate for what they didn't convict him of. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I don't know
how they did the OJ Simpson.
Yeah, I don't know that to be the case. Of course, that's just his opinion. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're looking at about a 6-year sentence. Would be my prediction. 6 years. Be out in 4, like a Iron Mike Tyson situation. But I thought what cleared him of the racketeering charges were Cassie's testimony and Daphne Joy testimony. They testimony cleared him of racketeering because they admitted to purchasing, picking, and paying for the prostitutes. That's what gave him. See, if he was paying, we got him. But by them admitting to picking, paying, and doing all that, that's why he was cleared in those charges with the racketeer, sir.
I don't think so.
You need him to pay for it, sir.
No. I don't think so. That may have been why he was cleared of the sex trafficking charges. The racketeering charges, they could have gotten him on any number of acts that he did, ordering someone to buy drugs and then distributing them. There was a number of smaller acts
Was that proven, sir?
What?
Was that proven?
I think it was. Yeah.
I know it was alleged, but was it proven? See, there it is.
I think it was.
There's a lot of those things. Like
I think it was.
Okay.
No, I'm saying I think it was proven. I mean, based on, again, just based on the reports of testimony that I heard, I wasn't even in court, so I didn't hear all the testimony and see all the exhibits and all of that kind of stuff. But based on the reports of testimony that I heard, I believe beyond a reasonable doubt that Diddy had other people, at his instruction, do illegal acts on multiple occasions.
I agree with that. Also, you saying if you believe he did anything illegal, that's a racketeering conviction. I got you. What you got? Because the only thing I think what saved him on here was the testimony by the victims. Was it was not what is the word I'm looking for? It wasn't like concrete. It was too much. They had too much involvement. Too much involvement. Too much criminal activity by people granted anonymity. When they granted full immunity by the court, then the jurors start to question your credibility when you're testifying. So that throws out a lot of their testimony. Now they're like, oh, so you participated in this.
I think maybe
that's what was clearing them, sir.
I think maybe there are some, kind of ignorant jurors who will dismiss people's testimony because they received immunity. I think it's ignorant to just say, well, if you received immunity, then I don't believe nothing you say. That's ridiculous to me.
No. But based on your testimony, even if I do believe, your testimony is saying you did it. Your testimony is not saying he did it. Your testimony is involved. So if you want me to convict him.
Wait, I want you to kind of understand how this might work, right? You and I walk into a bank. We both got on masks. We both got guns. We both robbed the place. We threaten people. We tell people, you know what I'm saying? We do some stuff like in the beginning of The Dark Knight, some Batman, Joker stuff, that hold these things because we don't want you to do nothing with your hands. And, if anybody move, we'll shoot you. We rob a bank, you and me. For whatever reason, they believe I was the criminal mastermind, right? So they come to you and they say to you, hey, CK, we gonna charge you and the King of Talk with robbing banks. And you like, oh, damn. And they like, but if you agree to testify against the King of Talk, we'll give you full immunity. You just got to tell us everything that happened. Now, when you go into court, you testify, yes. Me and Emanuel, we met. We met up at his house. I brought my gun. He brought his gun. We walked into the bank. We set everything up. Everything that we did it all. We did it. You give them details like, that day he had on a red shirt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we drove there in his old Saab and, whatever. You give them all the details. It's not, well, I'm testifying to what I did. You're testifying to what we did because they want me. And you giving details helps them prove their case against me because you were there. You were a part of it. So you have all the details that you can share. That's why they give you your immunity. So for the jury to look at you and say, well, since they gave CK immunity, I don't believe nothing he say. That doesn't make sense.
Full rebuttal, please. Full rebuttal. I would like you to understand that the King of Talk has a defense team that defended him. And when they questioned CK, it didn't line up to what the prosecutors were saying. CK said something that made it seem like he was the mastermind.
What?
So that messes up the whole case, sir.
No.
So when CK implicated,
oh my God,
I implicated myself.
No,
that's
CK.
Why the charge. Why
CK.
I'm telling you why he was found not guilty, sir.
Hold on, CK. I don't think that you understood what I said. You decided to add something else to it. No, everything that you said is what the prosecution has said. You were involved. You drove the Saab. You picked out your own gun. You picked out your own mask.
Oh, okay.
You threatened people. You testified that you did all of that stuff. But you also testified that I did stuff. They want me. You did not contradict the facts just because you said what your part was in it. That doesn't mean that I'm not guilty.
That's true. That is true. But I think when you're dealing with these jurors, that when they seeing one person get immunity, full immunity, they are looking at, hold on. So you telling me you're going to let them get away with it. So we're going to let them. It be that. It's tit for tat. Okay. So she's not guilty of nothing. He's not guilty. So they doing it together. So you're not going to punish her for her crime. We're not going to punish him for what you want me to punish him for. That's what the juror doing. They let him off. They didn't convict him.
Hold on. Let me say, I think I agree with you. That's what I was saying early in the show. We have jurors who just don't understand the law, and sometimes they don't even have common sense, and they do say stuff like that. Like, oh, if they both did it, I'm not finding this person guilty, even if the prosecution do prove their case, because they gave that person immunity.
Right.
You're right. There are ignorant people who think like that, and for whatever reason, a lot of times, seems like they become jurors.
But it's not ignorance. It's just a reason for me to vote the way I want to vote for. It's not. I'm just finding a reason not to convict these police that beat up Rodney King. I know they're guilty, so I'm going to use whatever loophole the defense gives me and take that to say, yes, they're not guilty. That's what we're dealing with. It's not that they're ignorant.
No,
of the
that's
law.
ignorant.
They know that those guys beat up Rodney King.
That's ignorant.
No, they just trying to let them off.
Right, that's ignorant.
You're an ally.
That's ignorant. That's what I'm telling you. That's ignorant. Those are either they don't understand the law or they don't understand the ramifications of their actions. That's ignorant. It's ignorant.
Hold on, sir. If I get on Carmelo Anthony jury, I'm going to vote not guilty, not because of ignorance, because I'm looking for any reason to get them off.
Right,
it's not ignorance. I'm definitely trying to get them off.
What do you want to call it? Stupidity? I'm comfortable if you want to call it stupidity. If you walk into the jury with your mind already made up that I'm gonna get Carmelo Anthony off, then you got no business on the jury. That's ignorant. That's stupid. That's whatever you choose to call it. I call it ignorant. You don't understand what your role is supposed to be there, or you willfully choose to ignore what your role is and just do what you want to do.
But I feel, okay, if I'm a white jury and you charging Rodney King beaters, it's my duty as an American to let them off. I'm with white people getting off. That's what I'm saying. I'm a corrupted person. I'm not looking for real justice. Whatever I got to do to get my people off, that's what you got to look into. It's not about it. It's about whose side are you on. I want Rodney King beaters to be free. I don't want them to go.
And you think that's a good thing?
That's the thing. I don't want.
Wait, hold on. Do you believe?
No, it's not good. It's America.
Right. So if it's not good, why would you pattern yourself? Why would you pattern your behavior after behavior that you yourself don't believe is good behavior?
Well, they told the honorable told you, if you can't beat them, join them. They will continue to dominate. You have to infiltrate their system. So you have to infiltrate them. So when they charge your people like OJ, you let them off no matter guilt or innocent. You don't want no man to go to jail for that.
So you're saying,
Mike Tyson.
So just so that I understand, you're saying if other people do bad behavior, it's perfectly fine for you to do the bad behavior, even though you know it's bad.
No, I live myself as a model citizen. As you see, I have perfect manners, and I say God bless every family. I'm talking about my manipulation skills with other people dealing with the demons. I must deal with the demons. So I understand.
Well, hold on. Let me then take it piece by piece because I'm clearly not understanding what you're saying. You're saying, look, there are people out here in this system who do we call it jury nullification. Who do this, who come in and they say, even though this person is guilty, I'm going to say they're not guilty because they're in my group. You're saying you acknowledge that there are people who are doing that, right?
Yes, that's where we were built off of, America.
All right.
Yes.
So, and you believe doing that is bad. According to you, you think that's bad, right?
No, I don't. I said it's America. It's not good or bad.
I'm asking you, is it good or is it bad? Is it good or is it bad to do that?
I say it's corrupt.
It's corrupt. Is corruption good?
I say corrupt is bad. I say bad.
So you believe that doing that is bad?
being corrupt is bad, no doubt.
So
No
hold
doubt
on,
about it.
just so I'm clear. So
Very
you
bad.
believe that going and getting on a jury with the sole purpose of making sure that the person who's on trial gets found not guilty, you believe that's bad?
In certain circumstances, not in Carmelo Anthony.
Wait a minute.
I believe
Hold
it's
on.
good to let him off.
Okay, and you believe that because you believe that that's what other people do, right?
Yes.
So you believe that because some people do bad, that makes it good for you to do bad.
No, it don't make it good. It's wrong for me also. But
Okay,
I need to
so-
save Carmelo
wait.
Anthony life.
Hold
by
on.
doing
So you
bad.
do believe that it's bad even when you do it?
Yeah, if I really believe that he's guilty and I vote for him to be innocent, yeah, that's bad. I would acknowledge.
All right. So you believe that it's bad.
If I really believe in my heart.
So then,
But I'm yes, sir.
so I'm confused. When does it become good in your mind?
Well, because I'm thinking that he's innocent person. But maybe if I went to court and they proved that he was guilty, I still would vote innocent. I would be doing wrong. But I'm going in it believing he's innocent. But I still would use my racial bias to vote him not guilty. I would take a page from the white people and vote him not guilty.
But you would still acknowledge that that what you're doing is wrong, but you'd be comfortable doing wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
So you believe
That's
that
wrong.
because other people do wrong, then it would make you comfortable doing wrong.
No, I probably wouldn't be comfortable. It probably would hurt me. It probably would hurt me. Because my conscience, I do have a conscience.
Okay.
I do have a conscience. It would hurt me. But I do wrong.
But you would still do it.
That's the hardest wrong to do. Yeah, that's premeditated wrong. That's the hardest wrong to do.
But you'd still
That's
do
the
it.
hardest wrong to do. You don't.
But you'd still do
Yeah,
it.
I make mistakes. Yeah.
Well, it's not a mistake if it's premeditated. You can't say, I'm about to go punch that dude in the face and then go punch that dude in the face and be like, oh, I made a mistake. No, you made a decision.
No, you can do. Yeah. No, you can be like, I was young. I made a mistake.
No, but it's not a mistake if before the thing even comes up, you've determined that that's what you're going to do. That's not, at least in my book, that's not making a mistake. You made a decision to do wrong. You didn't accidentally do wrong. It wasn't a spur of the moment decision to do wrong. You had already determined when I walk into this situation, I'm going to do wrong. You can't now say, oh, I made a mistake. No.
I understand what you're saying. I understand perfectly. Because,
Okay.
like you said, it's like when you do retaliation, it doesn't fix anything. It actually makes it worse. Have you ever been involved in retaliation?
Of course.
Now, has it affected you badly or goodly?
Oh, I think most times when I'm involved in retaliation, I feel real good about it.
So it never got out of hand and led to death or bloodshed?
No.
Oh, okay.
But if it did,
that's cool.
then I would probably still feel good about it.
No, that's what I'm saying. You ain't feeling good sitting in that jail cell. That's what I'm trying to.
No,
Nobody does.
if
Even
I'm
when you-
retaliating, I'm not sure that I wouldn't be feeling good. Like I'm not like if I made up my mind to retaliate, then I've already made up my mind to accept whatever consequences come with that retaliation.
Would you admit certain things are just you're not tolerating? They're gonna be met with immediate violence.
I'm
Certain
sorry, I
actions.
didn't understand the question. Say it again, please.
Would you admit that certain actions taken against you personally would be met with immediate violence?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're
Respect
saying?
must be given at all times. If you give respect to people, there is never no problem. It's about manners. It's about minding your business. Then we have no problem. As long as you do that, we can stay out of trouble. Like I said, that's why I talk to the youth. The youth I talk to, they don't get in no criminal offense. Every one of them don't have no felony. I talked to 15-year-olds. All 10 of them didn't have no felony.
So then why don't you go talk to more?
No felony.
Why don't you talk to 100 of them then?
I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it because we got it's about education and it's about believing in yourself. You got the truth. That's why I listen to your platform. You and Mr. Wyatt, y'all be doing y'all shows from a place of fatherhood. That's what makes y'all show so successful in the mass. You know what I mean? Because y'all go from like Black parenthood, and I'm just proud of y'all, and I appreciate you taking my call, Mr. Thank you forever.
Well, I believe in you. Now go get that medicine.
You said what kind of medicine I need now?
I'm not sure. I wasn't a lady passing out the medicine. I thought I heard it was a little Asian lady. Like, are you ready for your medicine? And you was like, hold on. You know, like you was talking on the phone.
Why did you make up a whole fantasy?
I thought that was what I heard. I'm just saying I thought I heard that. I'm asking. I'm not saying it. I'm asking the question.
Man, oh my God. See?
It wasn't a little Asian. It was not. Hold on. Are you? And you just say no if the answer is no. Was there a little Asian lady while you was on the phone with me just a few minutes ago? There was a number of people that I heard in the background. Was one of them a little Asian lady saying, "Are you ready for your medicine?" Did that happen?
One of them. It was a lot of them, but yes, I did see one. But I tried to, but I seen one, but it was a lot. But it's not what you think, man.
Oh.
Your thoughts are wrong. Like my thoughts of your life is more accurate than your thoughts of my life. I bet you my shit more accurate than your thoughts of mine. Your shit way off.
That's why I was just asking.
You got a nice simple life.
I was just asking the question, bro. I don't know. I don't know what happens there.
Hey man, you have a great 4th of July too, man. Much love, man. You gonna barbecue and shit?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. I appreciate you, man. Every time, man. It's always good to talk to you, man. Always good to talk to you.
Have a good holiday.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. That was CK. You were very messy. What I do that was messy? I asked a question. I didn't make a statement. I asked him. I thought I heard something. I asked him if that was what I heard, and he never really answered. If he just answer and say, no, I don't have a caregiver here. I don't have a caregiver that's Asian who gives me medicine. It doesn't happen. Then, but he don't say no. All you gotta do is say no. All you gotta do is say no. Oh boy. What were we talking about? I barely even remember what we were talking about. We were talking about how hopeless things are. That's what we were talking about. Now, again, this hopelessness is because I was about to say the hopeless, it's only a minority of people. I don't agree with that, though. Now, I think the violent people running around terrorizing neighborhoods and stuff like that, I think that's a minority. The people ignorant, running around, not knowing, not understanding, the law, not, valuing what I would perceive as the wrong things. I think that's a whole lot of people. That's a whole lot of people. And I see them everywhere. And they don't know that they're disrespectful. Yes, like the kid who see dead people, and they don't know they're dead. I see all of these people running around, valuing the wrong stuff, being disrespectful, and they don't know they're disrespectful. Because they think that their behavior is normal. And because there's a whole lot of people out here who they see doing the same stuff that they do and who accept it and who talk about it like there's nothing wrong with it. They hear it in the music. They see it in the movies, all of that kind of stuff. They don't think that they're totally out of line, disrespectful people. There's a whole lot of them. And it happens a lot. These ain't just black people. These are just people. I'm telling y'all, we value the wrong stuff overall as a society. And if it's 50-50, then the 50% of bad people are kind of winning. Because they're winning over the new people, as they're coming up. But anyway, that's that. We'll see what happens. Somebody said the sentencing was at 5:00. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. And there's somebody on here who I'm sorry, Brian, is it Brian? Brendan? I'm trying to scroll back because he keep on, going over and over about how Diddy is not guilty and how the jury got it right and, how he don't have a problem with Diddy beating chicks and, all of that kind of stuff. Somebody, I'm trying to scroll back and see it. Brian Cherry. Okay, we get it. You believe that the jury got it right. I would love to hear your understanding of what sex trafficking is or of what RICO is. I'd love to hear your understanding. I think you're saying that they got it right because you like Diddy. Because you had to repeat it 10 times. I might be exaggerating just a little bit on 10 times. But you've been going real hard. So I would just love to hear your view on what the actual crime is. What you think he was charged with. And what you think they proved. Because people believe, it's almost like saying you can't charge a pimp for being a pimp because the prostitutes was okay being pimped. He wasn't no pimp. Them women went right along with it. They wanted to be prostitutes. That don't mean that what he did is legal. I really believe that there's a lot of people who don't understand that. Even if I buy into the notion that, okay, she did all of this stuff, she wanted to do it. If there were times when she didn't, and she was forced to, you did it the last 100 times. You're not going to say no now, bitch. That's not legal. Even if she called, arranged the flights, paid everybody, did everything, and then, just when it was time for him to pee in her mouth, she said, "Ooh, I don't want to do this." And somebody said, "Bitch, you gonna do it," and punched her and beat her up and forced her to do it. That's not legal. But she wanted it. Not at that moment. People don't think like that. They have a notion in their head and they just run with that. Shahira said, you've been cussing a lot today. Just saying. It's necessary. I told you I don't cuss except for when it's absolutely necessary. And it's necessary to try to get this through those people's heads. I just realized how bright your lighting is today. It's not the sun at this time, during this time of year, the sun is right here. See, that's holding my hand up for the sun. That's the sun. In a few minutes, it will have moved and it won't be that bright in my face. Again, I could put a curtain up there and block out the sun. I kind of like the sun. So give it a few minutes, the sun will pass, and then my normal lighting will be what it is. But yeah, I don't understand how y'all don't understand this. For real, it's the scenario that I put to Twin early in the show, but somehow he could understand it in one context, but not in another context. Remember I told him if you was in a hotel room, you getting ready to do whatever, and then she say, no, I don't want to do this no more. And then she get up and leave, and you go beat the S out of her and drag her back to the room and force her to finish. And he said, before I was even able to finish that scenario, that's rape. Like ding, 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 ding. Yes. All right. So then Cassie was in the middle of a freak off and she said, I don't want to do this no more. And she got up to leave. And then Diddy came out and he beat the crap out of her and drug her back to the room. And that's different. How? Because she wanted it. Not at that moment. She was trying to leave. I don't understand where you see the difference. But people do. People see the difference. And that makes me sad for women. Because if you're ambiguous about a woman's right, because that's kind of what this comes down to at some point, a woman's right to say no. Like this ain't 1960 where, you somebody's wife and they say we doing it, you doing it. And if you say no, they say yes, and they finish. And that's that. And everybody look at it and say, well, that's your husband. This ain't that. It's 2025. We understand that I don't care what you're doing. She could be on top and she say, I don't want to do this no more, and roll on off. That's the end of it. You could be in the middle on the upstroke and she say, stop, I don't want to do this no more. Boom, that's it. It's over. I thought we understood that, but now I don't know that we do. Because for some of y'all, you can just say, but she liked it. But she said no. But she liked it. But she said stop. But she liked it. She the one got the hotel room. Right. But even in the hotel room that she paid for, that she drove y'all to, she said stop. No, she wanted it. If she didn't want it, she wouldn't have drove me to the hotel. But she said stop. And if they don't understand it, and that's why, because I'm not, some big celebrity watcher. I'm really not. But some of these celebrity cases kind of open up a window and let the light in. They open up a window to see the thoughts of the people. And if the people are looking at this and they're seeing what I'm seeing, a woman literally, even if just on that night trying to escape, being beaten and dragged back. And you cool with that? Because she liked it? That scares me because that leads me to believe that you might do the same thing if you think she liked it. If you think she into it and she say no, you might feel like, no, she really like it. She just saying no. And not stop. It's scary. Mike says, I think the jury saw no motive for racketeering and human trafficking. I don't even understand what that means. First, you don't have to see motive for it. Like, I'm worth $5 billion. But I get in my car and go down and rob PNC Bank and get $600 out the deal. So I didn't see no motive for him robbing the bank. It don't matter. I robbed the bank. So it don't matter if there's a motive if you have the fact that I did it. I'm on camera. They caught me with the $600 in marked bills in my pocket. I looked at the camera and said, cheese. They caught me. You don't get to let me off because, well, I don't see a motive. No, you did it. Don't matter the motive. So whether or not they see a motive for racketeering, again, based on my understanding, the way that it's been explained to me, the racketeering is really he ran a criminal empire. If I start a company right now and I pay all my employees, and as a part of your job description, I make you go buy me crack, and then I make you distribute crack, and then I make you go blow up somebody's car. If you don't do it, you're going to lose your job and you might die. I think I'm racketeering, but I don't see a motive for that. It don't matter. The fact that I did it is what you're judging on. And I'm pretty sure that they showed that he did those things. The sex trafficking was, Cassie said she didn't want to do it. And you beat the S out of her and dragged her back and made her do it. With someone else, not just with you. You forced a woman who did not want to participate in sexual relations with a man or two to have sex with those men so you could watch her. You trafficked her. You carried her across state lines to force her to have sexual relations with people she didn't want to have sexual relations with, or at least at certain times when she didn't want to have sexual relations with them. I think they proved that. But again, I'm not relitigating maybe I am, but they found him not guilty. And I think there are a lot of people who probably are like you, Mike, like, oh, but he didn't have no motive, so he got to be found not guilty. That's not the way it works. He did it, so he should be found guilty. But where was the motive? It don't matter. He did it. We proved that he did it. But I don't see the motive. It don't matter. And a lot of people have, these thoughts of how the law is supposed to work in their minds. And so maybe what you're thinking is the same thing they were thinking. Oh, this guy's a billionaire. What would be his motive for racketeering? But somebody hopefully was in the jury room like, but did he do it? Well, yeah, he did it. I mean, they clearly proved that he did it, but what was the motive? He probably sent a note, Your Honor, I'm trying to explain to these people. And then Your Honor, like, you're not supposed to be there explaining nothing. They supposed to follow the instructions. You just do what you're supposed to do. All right, y'all. What else is going on? What else is going on? And look, if you know what I'm saying, you are what you are. Mike says, should he spend decades in prison, in your opinion? Yes. If that's what the crime calls for, if that's what the sentence calls for, yes. I mean, if the crime of racketeering, which again, I think they proved that he did, if the crime of racketeering he's actually guilty of and the punishment for racketeering is life in prison, then he should spend life in prison because I think they proved it. But I think, to your point, that might be what people, again, kind of what CK was saying. Like, if I go in there and they like, hey, the sentence for this is life in prison, and you back in the jury room, and they like, okay, do everybody believe that he blew up that dude's car? And everybody like, yeah, I think, yeah, he sent somebody and they blew up that dude's car. Do everybody believe he had people, buying illegal drugs and distributing to the people who was having sex in there? Like, yeah, we all believe. Okay, according to this jury instruction, that means we have to find him guilty of racketeering. And then somebody was like, what's the penalty for racketeering? Because I got a racket, and no. The penalty is life in prison. Oh, no, I'm not finding him guilty. He don't deserve no life in prison for that. Shoot, I know people who done did worse than that, and they didn't get life in prison. I'm going to find him not guilty because he shouldn't be in prison for the rest of his life. But you agree that he did what he's accused of. Oh, yeah, he did it. Oh, he definitely did it. But I'm not going to find him guilty and put him in prison for the rest of his life. Your Honor, this dude say that he, you know what I'm saying? I believe there were probably those types of things play into people's minds, I believe, when they're deliberating. I don't think he should be in jail for no decades, so I'ma just find him guilty of the stuff that's little. Okay. I believe that happens. I believe that happens. Somebody asked, that's not me snorting. There's a little air thing on there. And when you drink out of it, air is... So no, that's not me snorting as I drink. Somebody asked me that one day. And I was like, did I snort? And then I was drinking and I heard it. And I was like, that's what they heard. And they thought that was me snorting. No, there's a little air thing on the top. There's a little air thing. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. But I feel bad for y'all ladies. I feel bad for y'all. Because if they think you liked it, they think they don't have to stop. What else is going on? What else is going on out here? The big, beautiful bill is going back to the House. And, eventually they'll be voting on it. And I'm still trying to get a grasp on everything that's in it. I know it's supposed to be raising the deficit. The debt by like $3 trillion or something like that. Which we know last time he was president, he raised the debt. See, he really, to some degree, he is trying to run the company like a business, or like he runs his businesses. And a lot of people run their businesses using other people's money. So you borrow money. It's a business principle. You don't use your money. You borrow money. You use other people's money to make money. And you build up a lot of debt. A lot of businesses build up a lot of debt. And, we know with him, one of the things that he does is he builds up debt, and then he files bankruptcy. So then he's able to settle some of that debt, or a lot of that debt, for pennies on the dollar. Then he just starts all over, building up debt, file for bankruptcy. Pennies on the dollar. But the country can't function like a business in that way. But he's coming in, I don't remember, how much did he run up the national debt when he was in office the first 4 years? He's probably trying to top that now. But how does he think we get out of it? He don't care. He won't be there. He won't be there. So when people was like, oh, he a businessman, he'd be a great president, he a businessman, he'd be a great president. He's not. He's running it like he runs his businesses. Shady deals and a whole lot of debt. Racism. We know one of the principles of his businesses is racism. One of his principles in as he's the president. He is running the country like he runs his businesses. He's putting yes men in places. Like, for real, when you really think about it, that's what he's doing. He's the final say at his businesses. He got people in place to do the dirt so that he don't have to get his hands dirty. What was it, Michael Cohen? Michael Cohen was doing all kind of dirt. And when he threw with you, he'll throw you away. He's running this country like he runs his business. There's racism. He don't want to rent to black people. He don't want black people counting his money. He don't like to deal with black people. He'll hire illegal immigrants. He don't really want them around. Daryl says Project 2025 is being played out in front of us. They're on page 56. Yeah, but he's doing it. Just, of course, this is a bigger scale. More debt. And then I'm sure he happy like, this is debt. I don't even have to file bankruptcy for this debt. It's just going to keep on going. Tax breaks for people who don't need tax breaks. Take benefits from people who need benefits to pay for or not even to fully pay for the tax debt, the tax breaks for the people who don't need them. This is what we got. I heard somebody say, well, this whole Diddy thing is a distraction. It's not. I don't think it is. I don't understand when people say everything that happens that's not what they want to be focused on is a distraction. Like, I'm watching the news and they're talking about this big bill, the so-called big, beautiful bill. They're talking about it, and they're talking about Diddy and about the Supreme Court. Like, everything is not a distraction. If you're distracted by it, you might need to work on that. But everything is not a distraction. It always bothers me when people say that. We shouldn't be talking about that. That's just a distraction. No, it's not. It's probably an important issue that needs to be discussed, as well as whatever it is that you think we should be discussing. But we got that going on. We'll see what happens. For those of you who may not know, it might be one or two people on here who don't know. The bill passed out of the Senate 51-50. I think there were 3 Republicans who voted against it. And then J.D. Vance, got all dressed up, put on his eyeliner and all that kind of stuff, and came to the Senate and cast the tie-breaking vote. You can't come out the house without your eyeliner on. What can you say? Cast the deciding vote. So now it goes back to the House because they made changes in the Senate. And so the House now has to look at it and say yes or no. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But for all of y'all who thought, oh, Trump about to save us all. At some point, you're going to have to acknowledge you might have made a bad decision. Or, look, maybe everything is going to get so good. World peace is going to happen. Prices are going to come down. Wages are going to go up. The debt is going to go away. Everybody's going to have health care and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll have to look at it and say, I was wrong. Trump is the best thing that ever happened to this country. And if that happens, I'm very much willing to admit that I was wrong. I don't get a feeling that that's going to happen. But I'm very much willing to admit that I was wrong. Did you hear about the one senator that missed the vote because he overslept? No, I didn't. But he didn't miss it. He maybe was late for it or something like that because it was 50-50. It's only 100 senators. So he definitely didn't miss it. He was maybe late for it or, something like that. Andrew says maybe they'll actually read it this time instead of just saying yes because it's Trump's. I was listening to, what is her name? The senator from Alaska. She was mad at this reporter. She just stared at him for like 10 seconds. He asked her a question. I think it was about Rand Paul saying, basically she sold out. She voted for this as some sort of a bailout for Alaska. She did not like that. And she stared at him like for a really long time. And he was just staring at her. And then I guess it got a little too uncomfortable for him. And then he was like, I didn't say it, but I have to ask you about it. And she was still just staring at him. I was cracking up. Like, y'all let these people punk y'all. Just stare her down. She's staring at you. You stare at her. You asked the question. She mad because she didn't like the question. If anything, So you gonna answer the question? You gotta justify your question. But again, I understand it, you know what I'm saying? He's in the Capitol. He don't want his credentials snatched. So you make nice. But then she's like, I don't like the bill. I don't like the bill. Hold on. If you don't like the bill and you don't think that the bill is good for America, but they done put some stuff in there for Alaska, so you vote for it? Well, I'm here to represent Alaskans, but you also here to represent America. Like, you don't vote for something that's going to put America in a very bad position because it's going to help Alaska. That is not what. And I get it. I'm there. I'm representing Ohio. Ohio going to get, $12 billion to build bridges or whatever. Yeah, but it's going to put us $3 trillion in debt. It's going to kick people off of Medicare or Medicaid and SNAP. People are going to suffer for this. Yeah, but Ohio getting billions of dollars. So that's not good representation. That is not good representation. And then to say, I don't like the bill. But you voted for it. Why did you vote for it if you don't like it because you realize that it could be devastating to the country? Like, to me, there's no excuse for that. I don't like it. Don't vote for it. Don't vote for it. Sorry, y'all, that's my stomach. I did eat a little something earlier today, but it was just a little something. And it was really only because Mrs. Livingston made me eat. So. Mike says, so we have a national budget and Trump is attempting to revise the budget. This is a spending bill. Again, my understanding of it, this is a spending bill, which they do, I mean, they have to determine, how to spend the money. So, yeah, they're determining how they're going to spend the money. Nat Turner, he says, Maddie said he has enough votes to block in the House, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to see. Because, to some degree, all he had to do is threaten to primary them. And then, they got like two choices. Like, either vote with him or say that they're going to retire and not run again. Yes, that was my stomach. No, I'm not on a diet. I just don't eat. I don't get hungry. I know you would think you hungry, bro. Like, your stomach is like, so you're hungry. Just go eat. But I'm not hungry. It's the wildest thing. I don't get hungry. So I don't eat. Like, again, Mrs. Livingston be mad at me. And, she'll have to ask me, like, what did you eat today? And I'm like, nothing. Okay, what did you eat yesterday? I don't think I ate anything yesterday. You better, I just like, she'd be like, go downstairs and get something to eat. Because she cooks. You know what I'm saying? Like, she cooks. Like, go eat some of that stir fry down there. I'd be like, okay. I will eat some stir fry. But I just don't think about it because I don't get hungry. So I don't even think about it. I know it's crazy, but for real, I don't even think about it. Except for every once in a while, my stomach will say, and then I'll be like, oh, calm down. But that still don't make me hungry. That just make me be like, well, my stomach needs to stop making them noises. Or as the little baby would say, Grandfather, your stomach is grumpy. Oh, it tickles me when she says that. I'd be like, yeah, my stomach is grumpy. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get hungry. And you would think, Emanuel, just go upstairs, get something to eat. There is food, cooked food, ready to go. All you probably got to do is throw it in the microwave, because she's not home right now, so she's not cooking right now. But, the food that you probably should have ate yesterday is there. Just throw it in the microwave, heat it up. You'll be good. But when I finish here, I got some screens in there that I got to expose. And I will just go right in there and expose those screens, and I'll start working down here. And then I won't even think about it. And probably around 11 o'clock, because I got like, I think three jobs that I really need to have done by the end of the weekend. I'll just go in there and get to working, and about 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock, depending on when I get tired, 1, 2, I'll be like, okay, let me go upstairs, and I'll go upstairs and sit down, watch maybe a show or two, because, insomnia. So watch maybe a show or two, and, then fall asleep. Get up in the morning, either go to work or come down here and start working on the next job, and, then get lost, and then next thing I know, I need to go and do the show. And then sit here and do the show. And then when I finish, I'll run in there and start back doing it. And if she don't yell down, what did you eat today? I won't even think about it. And I'll go upstairs and watch a couple TV shows and lay down and, same thing. And then it'll be 4th of July. And then she'll be like, are you going to work downstairs today? And I'll be like, no, I think I'm going to just chill out today. And then she, okay, well, what you want to do? Where we going? Whatever. And then I'll go and somebody will have barbecued and I'll eat. So, yeah, I might go 2.5 days without eating. And again, don't even think about it because I just be busy. She'd be mad. I'd be like, why are you mad at me? Because I don't get hungry. That's not healthy. And that bothered me. The only thing that bothered me about it, for real, the only thing that bothered me about it, how am I still fat? How am I still fat? I be moving. I be active, working, sweating. Because, I got a few heat. I had to turn on a few heaters, dryers, while I'm working. So it'd be hot down here. I got a little thermometer. Sometimes it'd be like 90 degrees in here. I be hot. I be sweating, moving, all that stuff. Ain't ate in 2 days and gained, 5 pounds. Where did I gain 5 pounds? Now, well, your body is in starvation mode, so it's storing fat. Okay, then use some of that fat. How am I still fat? How am I still fat? I'm husky. Oh. But no, okay, I think when I finish here, I am intentionally going to go upstairs and get something to eat. Because, All right, Sierra. Blinch has always got something to say. Blinch has always got some smart stuff to say. Oh, Sierra, I'm pre-muscular. Oh. So I am. When I finish here, I'm going to go upstairs and grab something to eat. And then you're right. Somebody said something about ginger snaps. See, here's where you're kind of right. It might be like a couple days. And then, once I get upstairs and then I sit down and I start watching something, I don't feel like going, heating something up or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, then I'll just grab a snack. If I got some ginger snaps, I'll grab some ginger snaps and I'll eat those. And then so I definitely don't feel hungry, but I'm not eating because I'm hungry. I'm eating because I'm kind of bored, trying to wait until I fall asleep. So I'll eat some ginger snaps and then go right to sleep on nothing but ginger snaps. I know that ain't healthy. But it don't even be, like I said, about, I'm hungry. Or even, like every once in a blue moon, I'm like, hey, I want something sweet. But a lot of times it don't even be about that. It'd be like I'm sitting here watching TV, waiting to fall asleep, and I don't have nothing to, this is going to occupy my mind as I get sleepy, cookies or, something like that. How many of y'all want to get fit? Like, what I'm saying? You might be a little fit, or you might be completely out of shape. You might be fat like me, or, skinny and want to build up. How many of y'all want to get fit? Nat says, I eat 1 meal a day, but I do snack. You should get back with your trainer, Hank, for that. I'm sure he could help. LaDonna says, I'm a snacker. It's hard. Jericho says she want to get fit. Do anybody want to, Dina said, I'm working on toning up. Do anybody want to start like a little workout club? Like for real, like we could join a gym, even just like a Planet Fitness, and hold each other accountable. Anybody want to do that? Like we could get together, join a gym, and say, boom, we sit and talk, do a Zoom, talk to each other, figure out schedules, and like say Jerica says, well, I can work out 3 times a week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6:00. I just threw that out there. She didn't say anything like that. I just made it up on the spot. Then, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I could be like, Wednesday, hey, Jerica, did you, or call Jerica like, hey, don't forget, you working out today? So, yeah, I'm working out today. All right. Hey, did you work out? I did. I got a good workout in. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying? All right, I'm meeting you at the gym on Tuesday at 6, and then we're gonna, work out together. That way we hold each other accountable. Hey, I'm at the gym. Where you at? And, it might be 3, 4, 5 of us there on Tuesday at 6. Hitting the gym together. Just for that purpose. Sierra says, does anyone want to connect on Peloton? I ain't got no Peloton money. First, I ain't got no Peloton. And then second, I ain't got no Peloton money. Dina says, there are some creepy men in the group. I'm not doing jumping jacks around them. We gonna determine, we not gonna let you be, you know what I'm saying, with the creepy men. I hope I'm not one of the creepy men. You know what I'm saying? I got a feeling that the creepy men don't know that they creepy. So I hope I'm not one of the creepy men. We not gonna let you be with the creepy men. We gonna make sure it's all together. Kim says, I'm not gonna do it, being honest. Okay. Just something to think about. Something to think about. I have found, I'll be watching all of these, for whatever reason. I feel like it's partially my fault. Mrs. Livingston has started watching like dating shows, because before she was not with that whole pop the balloon or find love. Like, she would not watch it with me. She would not do it. But I was watching it. And one day she sat down and watched it. And I'm like, look, you get a good feel for, how people, when, all of that kind of stuff. It's just, it's a kind of a sociology thing. And so she started watching it with me. And now we enjoy watching it, because like you can go in and, you can pick out personality types and all that kind of stuff. And then she picked up this show called Ready to Love. And I think she watched like 3 seasons of it. And then she was like, you want to watch this show with me? And I couldn't say no, because she started watching the Pop the Balloon show with me. So I was like, sure. And I started watching it. I don't love it, but it's interesting because, of course, again, sociology and personality types and all that kind of stuff. So now we're watching a few different dating shows, and here, all of that to get to this. I saw where Jerica said, the creepy men know they creepy, or something along those lines. I don't know, what exactly did she say? She said, they know they creepy. I'm not going to say that first word because I don't cuss. But she said they know they creepy. They don't. Not always. No, they don't think they're creepy. They really think that what they're doing is normal because it's how they feel. They don't. I'm telling you, you ain't got to believe me, but I'm telling you, they don't think that their behavior is creepy. Someone has to tell them that their behavior is creepy and show them normal behavior. That's still not 100% going to convince them that their behavior is creepy, because it's what they've always done and they don't view themselves as a creep. But, maybe eventually it will. But yeah, no, creepy people don't always know that they creepy. They just think this is normal. Dudes who meet you and just whip out they ding-a-ling, they don't think that that's creepy. They don't see anything wrong with that. They think this is normal. I'm a little hypersexual and this is normal. They really don't know that they creepy. Everything is sex. They don't know that they're creepy. They don't. The dudes that can turn literally everything into a sex conversation, they just think they're a little funny and quirky and clever. They don't know that that's creepy, bro. They think they're, I see you eating some ice cream. I'm like, ooh, I like the way your mouth go on that ice cream. They don't understand that's creepy, bro. I'm eating ice cream. Why are you getting something sexual out of this? They don't know that. The women talking about apparently getting random pictures of dinglings. But I'm telling you, they don't know. So just so y'all know, they don't know. And so, if we ever come to the conclusion that we'll do something, then we'll have to protect y'all. LaDonna says, E-Man, yes, they do. LaDonna, I'm telling you, they don't. You think they do because you recognize that it's creepy. They don't think that they are creepy. They think they're just more free. They think they're just more open. They think they're a little funnier and, they're a little, but they don't think, yeah, I'm creepy. Because they think creepy is, that's what they think creepy is. They think creepy is, even the dudes that end up on, what's his name? Hansen, Scott Hansen, John Hansen, Dave Hansen, whatever he is, To Catch a Predator. They think those dudes are creepy. But the dudes that show up to that show and get caught on To Catch a Predator, they never think they creepy. They never think that they're creepy. I'm telling you, creepy people don't know it. They don't know it. And then John or Scott or whatever, Hanson, he'd be like, what are you doing here? Oh, no, I was just here to meet her. But Chris Hansen, thank you. But that she's only, you believe that she was 11. Oh, yeah. I'm a math teacher, and I teach math. You did not come here to teach math, did you? No, I came here to make sure that she was okay. Like, hey, what's wrong, with spending some quality time with an 11-year-old that I've never met before, who invited me over to their house when their mother wasn't home, with some weed and some beer. What's wrong with that? And you look in their face, they be serious as hell. Like, every once in a while, some of them dudes know they creeps, They understand I'm meeting a 11-year-old and I brought beer and weed. They know, like, okay, I'm a creep. But I'm telling you, if you watch that, he still does that on the internet. So there are people still getting caught. Like, how? How are you still getting caught? But they're still getting caught. And sometimes you look at their face and they like, hey, what's wrong? Who could be against meeting an 11-year-old? Like, what's more precious than to share your bed with a child? It's the most precious thing that you can do in the world. Share your bed with a child. And people who don't understand, they're ignorant. They're ignorant. Like, you really don't know that you're a creep, do you? Nah, as long as you can moonwalk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you good. Like, no, you a creep. If you'd have told him, like, bro, that's creepy. No, that's ignorant. That's ignorant. I just love children. Oh, bro, you talking about sharing your bed, sleeping with little kids. You got the little boy right there holding his hand with his head on your chest. Bro, what are you talking about? No, that's ignorant. That's ignorant. Like, no, you creepy, dude. But ask him. Well, you can't ask him now because, But if you would have asked him at the time, he would have told you, no, that's it. They don't know. They don't know. And then he went on to purchase some children. Who could have saw that one coming? Oh, I do have to let y'all know I did not call Brent yesterday at 9:00 when my alarm went off. I was like, why the hell is my alarm going off at 9:00? And I didn't even really think about it. But I called him this morning. And, I talked to him this morning. I did not remember why I didn't remember until it was about, I looked up and it was like 11:55. And I was like, that's what I was supposed to do at 9:00. It's too late to call him now. It's too late to call him now. So I called him this morning. And I talked to him this morning. Dante say y'all should check out a channel called Predator Poachers. Brent.
Hello, is this Emanuel Livingston?
Yes, this is.
What's going on?
Nothing much. How's everything going?
Oh, man, everything's good. I'll tell you, you had me totally fooled. I'm like, who in the world is this calling me? Is this another family member want to know where they can pay their money, which I would take their money for this reunion. But, but all is going well. I had to get away from family, but you know how that is in family reunions.
Yes.
Good to see them, but, some family, you're glad to see them go to. But, what are you talking about, creeps?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Because, somebody, I was talking about going to work out, kind of a group thing. And I think Dina had mentioned she's not going to work out with some of the creeps. And I was telling her we'll protect her from the creeps. But I was also explaining to her and to other people that the creeps don't actually know that they're creeps. They,
Right.
They just think that what they're doing is normal. And somebody has to let them know that they are creeps.
Yeah. Man, I feel sorry for women because with what you know some guys and I know some guys and some of the thoughts that both of us have had towards women, and it's like, damn, they get this all the time, every step of the day, from all different kinds of people. I'm like, wow, man, y'all go through it. I'm glad I'm a man.
Yes.
But yeah, it's when I got sisters and everything. And I see some of these, I'm like, oh no, you don't mess with him. I know too much about him.
Yes.
And who he's been with. You definitely don't want to be with him.
And I don't understand. I've had the experience of telling one of my sisters, like, you do not want to deal with that guy. And she's like, why? He seems so nice. And I'm like, no, you don't want to deal with him. And he was my friend. I'm like, no, you don't want to deal with him. And say, well, why won't you just tell? I'm like, sometimes you just got to take my word for it. Just trust me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When the men in your life who you trust, who love you and want to protect you, tell you to stay away from a guy, just stay away from him.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't want to have to tell your sister that, he's being nice to you for those 3 little letters.
Yeah.
GTD. And then after that, all bets are off. You're going to be like, oh, he's just a dog. And then you're going to carry that into the next relationship. And this guy is going to be a good guy, but you're going to run him off because of what the last guy did to you. So it's crazy. It is crazy. But I didn't have much. I just had to take a break from the family and already getting ready to get all this food on the grill for tomorrow. And I just needed a break. And yeah. So that's it. That's all I got. No wrestling report, Lanana or Esteban or B-Rab. You know, we still mortal enemies on the wrestling front. But hey, I'll talk to you possibly tomorrow if they don't have you too busy.
All right. Enjoy the family.
All right. Take it easy.
All right. All right. That was Brent. Yes, the family reunion has started. Tria. The reunion has started. And last thing, and then I gotta go. I hear Mrs. Livingston up there. I think she's cooking something. I'm gonna actually eat it today. Last thing, excuse me. I wasn't on the Lincoln Ware show today. I didn't get on till like really late, like maybe 20 minutes before the end of the show or something like that. Maybe 25, maybe. And I'm watching the show, and I look up, and I see Alfonso Wesson's comments. And I'm like, what's going on? Apparently, Alfonso Wesson has unblocked me. I don't know what I did. First, I don't know exactly what I did to be blocked. I don't know what I did to even be on his bad side. But I don't know what I did to be blocked. And I don't know what I did to be unblocked. But, you know, it's nice. You know what I'm saying? It was nice to, you know, feel like, you know, maybe a fence can be mended. Because, you know, I'm all about peace. I'm all about peace and love and, you know, understanding and all of that good stuff. And the last thing I want to do is have some animosity towards one of my brothers or one of my sisters. It's the last thing that I want to do. So, you know, it was. I didn't say anything to him. He didn't say anything to me. I did see where, you know, he seems to have acknowledged that somebody at one point thought that T. Mikey G was him. And they were kind of riffing back and forth about that, which, you know, I thought was interesting. But, because I think that is something that kind of came up on this show. But it may have come up on other shows. But, yeah. Yeah, it was just nice to see, you know, that maybe whatever animosity was there is dispersing. So you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So I guess that's it. He unblocked you. Yay. Maybe one of these days he'll actually tell me why he ever blocked me. It'll be good to know. Maybe I did something. Maybe I'm running around doing stuff to people and I don't know it. I'm like the creeps, only different. Like, I'm doing stuff to people and I don't know I'm doing it. And it's making them so mad. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And I don't even know it. But I don't know, you know, what I did, like I said, to ever get on his bad side. But, you know, maybe I won't do it again. If I ever find out what it was. Unless, you know, it was something that normal people do and he just took offense to it because it was me. Then what can I do? You know, what can you say about something like that? But, yeah. I think you owe that to Ross. Ross called Zoe out on having you blocked. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. Again, I ain't really got no beef with Zoe, you know, but y'all know me. I'm one of them people. And maybe this is my creep. If you come for me, I come back for you. But other than that, I don't know. Ed says, E-Man, you are an agitator and you know it. Stop playing. How? How am I an agitator? By stating my opinions. That's really all I do is I say what I think and I ask clarifying questions. I do the thing about, you know what I'm saying, if you say something wrong, I'm a big, phonetically type in whatever it is that you said. But that's just fun to me, That's just fun. That's not, nobody should be mad about that. Dina says, why did Zoe block you? I don't know. I remember, you know what I'm saying, we were having some sort of a conversation, and for whatever reason, he brought up, my wife. And so I don't even remember what the disagreement or whatever was about. No, okay, I do remember. We were having a conversation, and he was saying that I just used Lincoln Ware's show to promote my show. And I was saying, I never go on Lincoln Ware's show, and I never, ever mention my show, ever. And I think he was either saying, yes, you do, or you whatever. And I said, you mention what you do more than I mention my show. And he was like, no, I don't. And I was like, have you ever mentioned on Lincoln Ware's show that you were a director? We had a bet. And I bet him some ridiculous amount of money, like $5,000 or $10,000 or some nonsense. Like, I bet you've mentioned what you do more than I've mentioned what I do. And then, oh, yeah. And I was like, yeah. So have you ever mentioned on Lincoln Ware's show that you're a director? Only when people ask me, but have you ever mentioned it? And he was saying yes. And I'm like, I've never mentioned the afternoon experiment on Lincoln Ware's show. So if you've mentioned it one time, then you mentioned it more than I've ever mentioned it. So now you owe me $10,000 or $5,000 or whatever the nonsensical bet was. And for whatever reason, he seemed to be really upset about that. Like, I didn't really expect you to pay me the $10,000. I know you're not going to pay them $10,000, but you was wrong. And, then he was like, something like go to hell and get it or something like that, which didn't bother me. Didn't bother me at all. I don't, a good comeback is a good comeback. I don't know that was the best comeback, but some people seem to enjoy it. And out of nowhere, which I don't remember even the context, he mentioned something about Mrs. Livingston, like your wife, something, something, something. And y'all know me. If you mention my wife this, I'm going to be like, well, what about that old man who took your girl from you? You know what I'm saying? Somebody scooped your girl. And you be mad at me because you ain't got nobody, whatever. And he blocked me. He didn't take my girl from me. By the time he got her, we had already broke up for over a year, which may or may not be true. I don't know if that's true. The truth of it don't matter. The fact is, I think it might be something to get under your skin. And that's why I'm going to say it. And it worked. Because, he like, no, by the time he started dating her, I had not been with her for over a year. And I'm like, stop it. He took her. You know what I'm saying? You let a man 30 years older than you take your girl. You know what I'm saying? And then he was all mad and he blocked me. So I think that was it. That was it. But none of that would have ever been said if, he wasn't like, oh, you just trying to use Lincoln's show to promote your show. And I'm like, no, I'm just having fun in the chat on the Lincoln Ware show. That's it. And then he used to get mad. Like, I be taking shots at Lincoln. And this was back when me and Lincoln was cool. Like, I'm not making this up when I say this. I had talked to Lincoln Ware on his show one day, and we had a back and forth, where he took some shots at me, I took some shots at him. Y'all know how we used to do. And then later on in the evening, he had called me, and I'm like, yeah, Lincoln. And he's like, you know what? I think people like it when you call the show. So won't you call more often? And I'm like, if I call your show, I'm going to take shots at you. And he like, I know, I'm going to take shots at you. It's all, I think people like our interaction. And I was like, okay, cool. So me and Lincoln didn't have any problems, but Zoe didn't like me taking shots at Lincoln. And so then he would try to take shots at me. And I was like, where is this coming from? And I remember at one point he was like, I'm just doing to you the same thing that you do to Lincoln. And I'm like, number one, you not me. Number two, I'm not Lincoln. And number three, why do you feel like you have to be Captain Save a bald-headed hoe? Like, there's no reason for it. But if this is the direction that you want to go, then okay. And I was trying to explain to him, like, Lincoln was all right with, the conversations and the interactions that we have. We've had the conversation. Well, I'm just doing to you what you do to Lincoln. I don't think so. I don't think you understand what, I don't know that you are comprehending what's happening. But if this is the relationship that you want to have, okay. But before that, I had no issue with Zoe. I mean, even still as it stands right now, I have no issue with Zoe. He done said some things and I done said some things, but to me, that's all just words. I don't care. So yeah, when I saw that I was unblocked, I was like, interesting. So yeah, it was an interesting thing to see his name and see his guy. I was like, did I log into one of my many fake accounts? Like, what am I doing? Is this one of my fake accounts? And I had to look like, no, this is me. It's regular me. So, hopefully whatever animosity was there, like I said, has dissipated and everything is all good. Because I do not like, well, hold on, I don't want to say I don't like, because I don't mind. Having a little bit of static with somebody. But it's not my intention to ever have static with people. I don't understand why people can't just have good conversations and, have disagree with people. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with people. There's nothing wrong with you having an opinion, me having a different opinion. I'm usually trying to understand your opinion when I start asking questions. I'm trying to understand. I'm probably never going to agree unless, you hit me with something and I'm like, oh, damn, I never thought of that. This mug is brilliant. I have to have some sort of epiphany, but, I'm trying to understand your opinion, not to change my mind, but just to understand it. But people get hostile. I ain't here to argue with you. I'm not trying to argue technically. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand, not trying to argue. Ed says, man, you love static. Stop playing. I don't mind it, but I don't love it. I would love to have, I use Jerica as an example, but I could easily use Janice as an example as well. I say stuff that Janice totally disagrees with from time to time. And Janice give me what for? Like she will light into me. She has called me ignorant and all of that kind of stuff. Like she has lit into me. And I'm because it's Janice, I'm just always super nice and whatever. But we've gone back and forth. And when it's all said and done, that's it. Janice don't, hate me. And I don't hate Janice. She's actually my favorite. We just disagreed on something. Jerica called yesterday making excuses for why girls can't know about sexual abuse domestic violence. We disagreed. I mocked her a little bit. She mocked me a little bit. Of course, I got the last word because I'm the host. But I don't think me and Jerica gonna fall out over that. She gonna call me some names. I might call her some names. And that's gonna be that. I've talked to Jerica off air. Now, it wasn't nothing like super serious, but even about the Sinners piece, the movie, and me not understanding and liking her opinion about, some things about the movie. And I think, how long did we talk, Jerica? It felt like we argued at each other for about an hour about the movie Sinners. And when all was said and done, either she made a joke or I made a joke or whatever, and that was the end of the conversation. I didn't hate her and she didn't hate me or any of that kind of stuff. And it was intense for a minute because, I talk with passion. I talk with passion. So we going, you know what I'm saying? And I think Mrs. Livingston was like, who is he arguing with? Because you know what I'm saying? How the hell you gonna tell me that meant that, it ain't that deep, but some people take it that deep. Like, it ain't that deep. We talking about the movie Sinners. And it'd be funny because I've had conversations with people where we going at it and people think we about to come to blows. And then they be like, okay, hold on a second. I got to take another call. And I'll be like, okay, take another call. Sitting there. Then they back. I'm like, okay, everything all right? Yeah, everything okay. It's cool. It's cool. That was just my daughter, whatever. Okay. How's she doing? How's she doing? Good. Okay. Now, how the hell you going to say that so-and-so, and we pick it right back up. But we not arguing. We talking and having fun. It's a good spirited conversation. Some people can't do that. Some people are like, oh, he just like to argue. He just like drama. And maybe that do mean I like to argue. I guess by definition, that's what that means. But it don't be serious. Like, people be taking stuff too serious. And I'm just like, at some point, I think we humans have to be open to dialogue and conversation. Be open to having conversations about people or with people who don't agree with you. And again, for real, from my perspective, I like to understand your point of view. And y'all know how I do. Hold on. Let me make sure that I understand what you're saying. And then I'm going to say what I heard. I actually do this with Mrs. Livingston too. If you know what I'm saying, she's saying something to me, whatever. Hold on, let me make sure I understand what you're saying. You saying that it bothers you that I don't eat every day and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. It's like, no. You were right up until you got to this point. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this. Okay, let me make sure I understand. So this bothers you, but if I did that, then yes. Okay, I understand now. And that be that. So no, I don't like what did you call it, Ed? I don't remember what you called it, but it felt negative. Static. But it was something else you called me. It wasn't, it wasn't, that wasn't a burp. That wasn't a burp. That was me. I was about to say aggressive, but it didn't come all the way out. I didn't burp. You didn't say aggressive. You said something else. I got to scroll back and find it. Hold on. Where is it? I like to push people's buttons. I do like to do that if necessary. Agitator. I don't like to agitate. I like to understand. I like to understand. Now, hold on. Let me take some of that back. I like to agitate when it's understood that that's the relationship that we have. If that's the relationship that we have, like calling, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on your name. Calling, Sierra a blench. That means black in French. Yes, you could say I'm intentionally agitating her, but I truly believe she understands I'm teasing her. So I'm not really trying to agitate her. I'm teasing her. And she gonna end up calling me something, and I'm gonna be okay with it. And I'm going to be okay with it. I still want to fight you about your raggedy opinion about sinners. I'm damn, you're going to call my opinion raggedy. Why my opinion raggedy? See, that's what's wrong with you. I'm not going to do that. Because I think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? You call somebody's opinion raggedy. That just mean I didn't agree with you. We have a lighthearted way of, doing whatever with each other. And it's all in fun. So I don't really do stuff to agitate, except there was, every once in a while, there's a certain talk show host, Lincoln Ware, who I will send stuff in to agitate him. Now, before when I was doing it, it wasn't to agitate him. It was because having worked together for almost 20 years, we had so many inside jokes that you didn't even really think about was inside jokes. Like, you ever hear him talking about, like somebody might say something about $1 billion and he'll say, $1 billion. That's an inside joke. Something that happened a long time ago that when it happened, we both laughed about it and we've both referenced it, 1,000,000 times. So, I might, normally I was saying stuff as kind of a callback to an inside joke. And when we were cool, he got the joke. Now that we ain't cool, if I do the exact same thing, he takes offense to it. But it can be the exact same thing. Like, I can say the exact same thing that I might have said 2 years ago that would have got a laugh. And if I say it today, it's hatred. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a callback to the same joke. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really, I just like to have fun. I like a good conversation. I like a good spirited conversation. I like an exchange of ideas. That's it. That's it. Ask Twin if you're an agitator. And again, what did I do to Twin today? Oh, he got so mad. What did I do but say what he said? That's not being an agitator. Oh, he was so mad. Oh, he was so mad. Oh, he was so mad. Jericho says you love to debate. I like a good conversation. I'd have told you, I don't know if I told y'all this, back when I was in college, and then I really do have to go. Back when I was in college, my group of friends, peers, we would get together. I wouldn't say every night because we didn't do it every night, but we would get together regularly and have conversations / debates. And we would have it was the funnest time that I can think about it. It was the funnest time. We would just out of nowhere, pick a topic, whatever was going on. Was he guilty or was he not guilty? Do you think he's guilty? Yeah, I think he's guilty. All right. You think he's not guilty? We think he's not guilty. All right. And whatever position that you believed in, you had to argue the other position. So it would be like 15, sometimes 20 of us, like 10 on each side. Or, depending on what it was, some people, I believe this, I believe that, I believe this, I believe that. And then you had to argue the opposite of your actual opinion. And we would just go for hours and hours and hours. And don't let the phone ring. Because that Oprah was out at the time when she used to take phone calls. So don't let somebody's or their phone ring, because we didn't have cell phones. Don't let the phone ring. Oh, we have a caller. And we would drag the caller in. I just called to see, what I'm saying? You got the homework for tomorrow. Like, no. You got to get in on this conversation. Think about Diddy, I don't care about Diddy. Nope, you got to take a position. And force them to take a position and then argue against them and have them on the line for 15 minutes. And by the time everything's, I'm on my way over there, and then they come and show up because it was just so fun. And for real, to argue a point that everybody in the room know you don't believe it, but you arguing the point and you really, for real, you arguing the point. And when all is said and done, every once in a while, it'll change your perspective to argue the other side of a point, the other side that you believe in. Every once in a while, it'll change your perspective. But normally it don't. For us, it was just something fun to do. Just something fun to do. And like I said, we would do it for hours, just picking different topics and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was just, I like that. I like that. If it's fun-spirited. Now, if it's mean-spirited, I don't want to argue with nobody. I will. I don't really want to. We disagree, I want to understand your side, you understand my side. I think I can show you the logic in my side and win you over. But if not, oh well. But it was one of the funnest things that I could think of that I've ever did, because it was with a group, like the entire group. I don't even know how we came up with the idea, but the entire group was like so into it, and that made it fun. And we all enjoyed ourselves. All right, y'all. Let me get ready to get out of here. That's one of the things that I do, or I should say that I used to do. You know what I'm saying? You go on a date and have ridiculous conversations. And that one of the ways that I would know, she ain't for me. She didn't enjoy it. She didn't enjoy these conversations. She thought they were stressful. This is just stressful. It's stressful. Okay, I won't do that with you anymore. But in terms of us being in a relationship, moving forward, we're just friends. I know this would never go any further because what I like to do stresses you out. And what you apparently like to do is not interesting. It doesn't stimulate me. Were y'all debating baddies episodes or policy? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but we debated everything. We debated anything that was going on. This was in was this the late 80s or early 90s? I want to say it was the early 90s. We debated everything. If you could imagine it was happening in the 90s, we was debating it. It was fun. It was fun. It really was. I enjoyed it. But yeah, it was one way that I knew you wasn't for me. I knew you wasn't for me. If I sneezed and you said, bless you, I was like, okay, now hold on. What are you actually saying here? Are you saying to me that I hope God blesses you? Is this like an open prayer, like God bless him? And what am I being blessed for? What are you saying? Help me what does bless you mean? And some people would lean right into it. No, what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? You have a good conversation and you laughing about the ridiculousness of the question. Like, you know, some people would be like, that's stupid. I'm just saying bless you. Everything got to be so difficult. Mentally, you are not for me. I can tell right now, you are not for me. And I'm not mad at you because it is a ridiculous question. But you got to have the right spirit to be able to, you know, engage me in that type of nonsense in order to stimulate me and for us to have any type of a relationship that might last. So I would know, you know, right off the bat, like, nope, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. We just gonna be friends. I met a new friend, hopefully. Cool. And then sometimes I was in one relationship with a young lady that lasted for like 2 years. And for 2 years, we continued that bless you debate, which is so stupid. But we both enjoyed it, you know, looking at different angles on why one says bless you and all of that kind of stuff. Stop the violence in Cincinnati. You want to stop the violence in Cincinnati? Hold on, let me see if I can. Do I remember that? Stop the violence in Cincinnati. Stop the killing in Cincinnati. We're getting more and more like South Central. Homicides have become more fundamental. I remember when Cincinnati used to be one of the safest places to be. People looking out for each other was the key. And I was raised in some of the rowdiest neighborhoods. And I grew up around hoods, up to no good, but at least win, lose, or draw, you were friends the next day. But now they want to come black and blow you right away. You see, we got weapons to keep us strong. Bush sending guns where they don't belong. From water, Iraq, but that's too long. And no, that's wrong. Back in my bodies happen every single day. Taking someone's eye and get your way down the street. That's pretty doggone sad. Pretty guns on the street. That's pretty doggone sad. I'm a true fan of talent. I love and do hip hop. Let's take our city back, y'all. Killing the Cincinnati's got to stop. Will this city and everybody turn out to be a dog in it? That's it. That's what Lincoln started laughing and it ended. That's the best I know. Some of them words in the middle where he was saying real fast and I've listened to him really slow. I don't know what he was saying. He was mumbling stuff. So I'm not 100% sure what he was saying. But in terms of the cadence of it, that's what it was. I know you all were laughing when he first rapped it because I was laughing. Oh my goodness. It was interesting. I just remember saying he was talking about being a rapper, and I remember saying to Lincoln, tell him to give us a rap. And I probably had to say it to Lincoln about 10 times. Tell him to give us a rap. And he kept shaking me off, you know, like a pitcher, you know. Lincoln, tell him to rap. And then eventually I said, tell him to rap. And then Lincoln told him, you know, hit me with one. Give me a rap. And then we got Stop the Violence in Cincinnati. And I was cracking up. But Alexander, bless you. Historically, it means I hope you don't have the plague. That's probably true. But the interesting thing about that is people don't know that that's what it means And so you can have interesting, because I would counter off of that. Like, so when you said bless me, was there a part of you that thought that I might have the plague? And we would just have that conversation. Somebody want to know what happened to Kung Fu Mike. I don't know. Me and Kung Fu Mike fell out. We fell out because I had taken a hiatus. I told you I was leaving. I had taken a hiatus from social media. And some people this was at a time when people were mad at me for screening calls. And they were calling in and complaining because I used to screen calls. And so management had told me, Jerry Tolliver had told me, don't screen calls. When people call in, just get their name and put them on. Don't have no conversation with them. None. Just get their name and put them on hold. And I'm like, no conversation. No conversation. None. Okay. That day, Nettie, Miss Nettie, beautiful Lincoln Heights, Nettie called in. And I believe somebody in her family had passed away. And so she called in and she was trying to some degree, have a conversation with me. And I'm like, I can't talk to you. I got to put you on hold. I put her on hold. And then so when she went on with Lincoln, she was doing her Nettie crying thing. And he wouldn't talk to me. And I was trying to tell him so-and-so, and he wouldn't talk to me. And, instead of Lincoln saying, he's not allowed to talk to you. We've told him don't have conversations. Lincoln kind of played it like, yeah, that's the kind of person he is, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm so upset. Oh, no. And she, doing her crying thing. And again, I was on my hiatus. And Nathan was on the air at the time. Not at that moment, but I'm saying he had a show. And I was at home, and Kung Fu Mike had called Nathan's show. And I don't remember what the actual conversation was, but then at some point, he went in on me. And they need to fire Emanuel's ass. They need to fire his ass. He had, Miss Nettie, crying on the air, so, they need to fire his ass, and, we need to call, management and get them to fire, Emanuel's ass, because, it's not right, what he did, to Miss Nettie, so they need to fire his ass. And I'm like, this brother never asked me what happened. Never, what I'm saying? There's no conversation. And he did it a few times. What they doing, about, Emanuel, firing, his ass. They need to fire, his ass. He need to be fired, he ain't no good, his ass need to, be fired, And I'm like, oh my God. I'm on my hiatus. And y'all know I be trying to honor my stuff. So I honored my hiatus, but he didn't stop. And I don't remember if it was a week or a month, whatever the hiatus was. I don't remember which one it was. And I didn't say nothing. I didn't respond. And all I did was, when I went on, I found a picture of Hong Kong Phooey, and I found a picture of Porky Pig, and I put a Hong Kong Phooey, a plus sign, a Porky Pig sign, a equal sign. That was the whole post. Hong Kong Phooey plus Porky Pig equals. And I tagged everybody. And he was heated. He was heated. And he called in how he gonna say that, I'm Porky Pig, and Hong Kong, fooey, I don't appreciate that, it was, disrespectful, and he didn't, have to do that. And I was like, bro, you've been on the air for a week or a month or whatever, talking crap about me. You didn't ask what happened. You done called me all kind of names and did everything. I said, and I didn't mention your name once. So, you can be as upset as you want, but I'm trying to let it end here. You took your shots. I took one. Let it die. Now, if you want to have a conversation so that you understand what happened with Miss Natty, I'm willing to have that conversation. But I'm not just going to let you get on here and go in on me for a week straight or a month straight or whatever it was and not respond. So, you know what I'm saying? You can take it wherever you want to take it. We can let it die and we can be cool. Or you can keep taking it wherever you take it and I'll follow you. And it turned into some big thing and somebody jumped in it and they didn't understand. And then Nate jumped in it. But eventually he talked to me and he was like, I didn't know, what happened. So, I'm sorry, and I shouldn't have, said that stuff about you, And I was like, and it's all good. I'm not going to apologize for what I did, but I will say I have no animosity towards you. And then that was that. But we was never really cool after that whole situation. Caller.
Hey, good evening. Is that so?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, first of all, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you, continuing your talk show through this late hour, of the early evening. We definitely appreciate that. We are enriched and ennobled at your effort to bring talk radio to the masses.
All right.
And I just want to say that as far as Diddy today, just like I said, I've been saying it, all day. Back in 1995, Diddy rapped about having hoes. Today in 2025, he got hosed. Those
he didn't.
Those,
but
he got hosed because he should have never been on trial to begin with.
Of course, he should have.
No, he should have never been on trial to begin with. This was just, Cassie's an asshole. Let's just when we peel back the onion of this Diddy case. When you get to the core of it, you realize that Cassie is a complete asshole.
I don't know how you come to that conclusion. Help me understand your conclusion.
Man gave her a lifestyle. Yeah, she, it came with sexual favors. That probably was part of the job.
And physical abuse.
Yeah, we don't like. Well, I mean, you get a little disrespectful. I mean, it happens.
Trying to leave a hotel in your mind is disrespectful?
That's not trying to leave a hotel. Is not a $20 million offense or $20 million.
I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm saying I said it was violent, and then your response to that, which led me to believe that what you were saying is. He may have been violent to her when she was disrespectful. So I remember seeing a video of her trying to leave a hotel and then violence being perpetrated against her. And I'm trying to understand how that is an act of disrespect that deserves an act of violence.
I don't know, but I'll say this. He wasn't charged with that.
Well, he kind of was.
And what you saw in that video was not a federal crime. That's a state crime. Give you 6 months to a year.
No. Again, contextually speaking, the if you look at it in a vacuum, then sure, it's just a state crime. But if you look at it,
vacuum, it's the state. It's a crime.
No,
so it's going to be a vacuum.
But it
either
could
was
be.
Or wasn't.
But it could be a part of a federal crime if She's trying to leave a freak off, and he's forcing her to come back and finish the freak off. Thus, it leaves the area of just domestic violence, and it becomes the area of trafficking this woman to these two men who may be in that room waiting to urinate on her. So that act in itself could be evidence of a federal crime. So when y'all look at it and say, well, he wasn't charged with that, he kind of was.
I don't remember. I don't remember any of the testimony transcripts that said that was that particular incident. She was leaving a freak off.
Yes, that was what was reported. That is what was testified to. That day she was trying to leave a freak off. That I saw. Again, I wasn't in court. So that's why I can't say with 100% certainty, yes, she did. But the report says that is exactly what she testified to.
Freak offs that she set up, called the prostitutes,
mm-hmm.
and gave them the itinerary.
Okay.
So so what is she a victim of?
She wanted to leave and not continue. She wanted to leave and not continue in one of the freak offs that she set up and did the itinerary for, but she was not allowed to leave, and she was forced by force. She was beaten into submission to continue in a sexual thing that she did not want to continue in.
Continuing that she set up.
She set up, yes.
I mean, that's just so bizarre that you would, set up such an event, and then as the event's going on, be like, I'm good.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what?
Probably because your boyfriend, probably because you saw something that that the financier of the event, Diddy, did something, and you just had enough for that day.
Maybe. Now, it's possible that, one of the sex workers ejaculated on Diddy's nipples and he was licking the ejaculate off, and that turned her off. And so she was ready to leave. And she's got that right. And then he jumps up, sees that she walked out, goes and grabs her, kicks her, stomps her, beats her, drags her by the hair back to the freak off to make her finish. That is a part of a crime.
That dude, the Punisher, very funny. He said, he was on Vlad TV. He said that that he would do the do, and the man juice. Cassie would hold it onto her stomach and walk it to Diddy. And he said and when he heard about that, and in trial he said that he was relieved to find out that Diddy was putting it on his nipples. And I asked him why. He said, because I thought he was eating it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So now when you brought up that situation about the sperm nipples, I just thought about that.
Right.
I always thinking that.
Yeah, that was why I brought it up, because I remember all of the things that were reported. So I wanted to, bring that to your mind to let you know that there was a number of things that happened that she may not have been comfortable with, or even just at that very moment, whatever, she was ready to leave, and she should be allowed to leave if she wants to leave. And so if she's forced, and I don't think that anybody could look at that video and not say that there was force. Dragging a chick back by the hair sounds like force to me. So if she's forced to have sexual relations with multiple people, that sounds like that could be some sex trafficking.
She's a scheme artist.
Okay.
She seen what was going down. She was all, she was good with the life for a while. And then she seen what was going down with the feds and said, I got to get some bread up out of him now. That's why she sued, because she seen the feds was coming for him. She said, let me get my cut before the feds get before the feds get their man hours in jail. I just think she's, I think she's, for the most part, was a willing participant. 90% of the time, she was clearly a willing participant.
Let me agree with you. Let me agree with you on that. Probably 90-something% of the time, she was a willing participant. Let me agree. She probably said, "Let me sue because the feds is closing in." Let me agree with all of that. That still, you said he shouldn't have been on trial, but again, we watched him drag a woman down a hallway to force her to have sex with other people.
Trial. We did not see a federal crime in that video.
Maybe we did. That's the point I'm making. Maybe that's what we saw was a federal crime.
See, it has to be reasonable doubt. You're saying maybe we did. That's the reasonable doubt. That was not a federal crime.
No. The reasonable doubt would be
roughing up his bride.
I think the reasonable doubt would be if you say, I don't believe that he ever forced someone to have sex against their will. But then she gets on the stand and she testifies, this was a freak off. I was trying to leave. He came, he threw me down, he kicked me, he stomped me, he beat me, he dragged me back, and he forced me to finish having sex with this or these people. That makes it a part of a federal crime. Now, you can say, I don't believe that's what happened. Thus, it's reasonable doubt. But to say that's what she testified to, if she was telling the truth, that was part of a federal crime that we saw.
I disagree. But when it comes to black folks, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to say that this is a racial thing or anything like that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to black folks, when we get charged with crimes, we get charged by the letter of the law. Everybody else gets charged under the spirit of the law. Under the spirit of the law, they would have realized, like, wait a minute, he's financing a lifestyle for you, young lady, and you're going to try and jam him up in a criminal trial that you should be a part of. In fact, you're the government's witness. That means we're giving you immunity. You're an asshole for that, young lady. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I understand what you're saying. It makes me sad, but I do understand it.
Oh, there's the cynic again. But hey, we love you anyway. Great talking to you again. Thanks for all the hours of the last 2 days of the March of Dimes telecast. We appreciate it. We appreciate it, and I'll holler at you soon. Be well. Oh!
All right. That's fame. I don't understand how y'all don't understand what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is so simple. Okay, let me try it this way, and then I do have to go. If it is a federal crime to transport people over state lines to make them by force have sex with prostitutes, if that's a federal crime. Now, if you're looking at that and you say, oh, that shouldn't be a federal crime, don't matter if you think it should be a federal crime. What matters is it a federal crime? And if it is, it's a crime to have transported prostitutes across federal lines and to force a woman to have sex with those prostitutes by physical violence. She don't have a choice. You gonna do this or you gonna get beat. That's a crime, a federal crime. But he wasn't on trial for DV or for rape. He was on trial. And this, which is, I believe, why this tape was a key piece of evidence. She testified, according to the news reports, that day was a part of a free golf marathon. I don't know how many days in they were. She didn't want to do it anymore. And so she got up to leave. He came and got her at the elevator and beat her and dragged her back by force and under threat of more violence if she did not continue to have sex with the prostitute. That meets all of the standards for trafficking her. He forced her to have sex with prostitutes that he brought in across state lines and forced her to do it against her will. I don't understand how that's hard to understand. Now, look, if you don't believe that grabbing somebody by the hair, throwing them on the ground, kicking them, stomping them, and physically dragging them by the hair to make them have sex with someone else, if you don't believe that's force, you got a right to believe what you believe. Definitely looked like force to me. She was, if nothing else, that day, that time, if you believe her story, she was trafficked. She was forced to have sex with men against her will. I don't understand how that's hard to understand. Acceptable arguments to me are, and I'm, who am I to say what your argument is? I'm just saying something that I might be like, okay, you're like, I don't actually believe she was trying to leave. I believe they was role playing. Like she went out there because she knew he was going to come and grab her and kick her and stomp her and drag her back to the room and force her to have sex. Thus, I don't believe that was trafficking. That would make sense. Wouldn't make a lot of sense to believe that that was role playing. But if you believed that, that's not trafficking. They were role playing. Anybody believe that that's what we saw, role playing? If you believe that, then it makes perfect sense that you don't believe she was trafficked. Okay, I don't believe that. Well, that's really all I can think of. Every other thing, I don't believe that that was a freak off day. I don't believe that was a freak off day. I think that was just one day when she was just, he just happened to be in a towel at the hotel chasing her down. And, that wasn't a freak off day. Okay, maybe that. Then you're like, that's not trafficking. And okay, so maybe I don't believe that was a freak off day. I think she was lying about that being a freak off day. Okay, maybe. Other than that, I don't understand the idea that she wasn't trafficked. Oh, but she brought them there and she set the itinerary and she this and she that. But at some point she said, I want to do this today. And he said, by his actions, probably by his words too, oh, you going to do this today. Or I'm going to beat the F out of you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to beat the F out of you and you going to do this today. Trafficked. I don't understand what about that y'all don't understand. Didn't she have bags and a backpack with her trying to escape while he was in the shower? Okay, let's say, sure. Because she didn't want to have a freak off no more. She testified to that. If I'm understanding the way that the testimony was reported, that's what she testified to. She didn't want to have a freak off no more. This was during a freak off. Again, I don't remember if this was day 2 of day 3 or day 1 of day 2 or day 4, and she was done with it. So, okay, she got dressed, she packed her bags and tried to leave while he was in the shower, preparing for the next session of the freak off. That still means she was violently forced to come back and participate. Trafficking. I promise you, I don't understand y'all bringing up, Randall Wilson. I'm trying to understand. You said, didn't she have bags and a backpack with her trying to escape while he was in the shower? You're saying that to say what? She wasn't trafficked because he was in the shower? I'm asking. Jetta says, years ago here in Cincinnati, a young girl was raped. They said every orifice on her body was torn and badly violated. Mouth, vagina, and the other one. They never saw such a bizarre case. Rape is violence in any form. I feel sorry for y'all ladies. Because they got every excuse why it's okay. It's okay if he did it because he's rich. It's okay if he did it because, he can rap. It's okay if he did it because, he can dance. It's okay if he did it because, billionaire. It's okay if he did it because, sometimes she wanted to do it. It's okay if she did it. Randall said, no, I'm saying that as proof of abuse and violence. Okay. Ronald Dixon says, my question is if he's in the shower, how did he know she was trying to leave? Did he have cameras even in the shower? Or did he, a sick man? I don't. Some people, and I wasn't saying you, Randall. I wasn't saying you, by the way. Like, what's okay because she called the prostitutes? What's okay because he was paying her rent? What's okay because she had a good lifestyle? Well, it's okay because, no, it's not okay. I still respect him as a man. I don't. All right, y'all. I do have to go. I'm working on my posture when I sit like this. So I'm working on my posture. It looked like I got, but I really don't, But my posture is so bad, sometimes it look like that. That's why I be looking and I be like, I'm trying to sit up normal. So I don't look, as fat and frumpy as I look. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Nakia says he can't rap. Well, he done made some hit records rapping, so. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Hopefully everything works good for y'all. It do look that way. They not really, what I'm saying? Ain't really nothing. But when I lean over like that, it look like it. So I'll be trying to sit upright. Shannon says he blacked her eye, went to sleep. She tried to leave. He got up looking for her. All right, I gotta go. Y'all all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Mrs. Livingston will cook to smell good. I gotta go eat. As always, trying to think. Is there's a something specific brewing in my spirit? There's something specific brewing in my spirit, but I can't really call it. So I'm not going to force it. But as always, be the reason that somebody smiles today. All right? Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.